How goes? Tournament starting. If you're a late check-in, feel free to late check-in. Tournament is starting. All right, I got a simple kind of idea today. I'm just practicing my counter picks. That's basically it. With low tier factions, of course. I could counterpick with Slaanesh 24/7, but that would be not very nice of me. So this is how we will do. My opponent is Tomb Kings. Khorne is a good counterpick. What's it? Is Nurgle good versus Tomb Kings? What a wild concept. But the Plague Bearers might be insane, right? Wait just a darn second. Stats. Let's take a look. Nurgle versus Tomb Kings. 8% win rate. That's bad. Let's see here. Khorne. We have... Lizardmen can't be good versus Tomb Kings, right? Vampire counts is not low tier enough. Let's see here. Greenskins? Maybe not. Definitely not Skaven. Bro, who counters Tomb Kings? I guess I could try Tzeentch. My gut tells me Nurgle has to be not bad versus Tomb Kings. Because the Plague Bearers, right? Alright, let's try it. Let's have some fun today. I think the odds of us playing Nurgle are very high. But, kind of how Nurgle is good versus all undead factions. With the power of the Plague Bearer. These guys trade better than Chaos Warriors and are cheaper. You kind of get double duty on them. But they're slower and more susceptible to shooting. So I need some way of shutting down the Tomb King's archer line. Indeed, they do pick the Nurgs. Alright. Let's do it. Oh boy. Here we go. We're probably going to be playing a lot of Nurgle today, aren't we? Hey, it'll be good practice. A lot of people will like seeing the Nurgs. Does anyone know if Marauders of Nurgle are good here? Apparently they're pretty good at trading. I just don't know if their leadership is good, but you know, maybe we do play around with them a bit. As long as I can deal with the chariots, we're fine. Start time? Is the start time? We were only slightly late, right? Only slightly late. Surely that's not a crime. Unless you're talking about the whole daylight savings thing, which I must say is very annoying. Let's see here. So facing Tomb Kings, we're on Crystal Lake. You know, Chaos Knights of Nurgle are actually pretty hype. Surprisingly so. They're great because they don't really... Excuse me, they don't really die. So, Tomb Kings, like, unless they're summoning Necropolis Knights, which is just not a very good idea, the Chaos Knights just have so much melee defense and so much armor that, like, you know, obviously Nehekar Horsemen, they just can't do much there. It's very nice. Want to see some Khorne Halberds tonight? Yeah, I'll be trying to get some Khorne action going. For sure. Hey, you know, maybe I can also play around with some Chosen. Yeah, there's a lot of fun things to do. A lot of fun things to do. And then I just need a little bit of mass to make sure we don't die to the big boys, the chariots, and so on. Nurgle's forms of mass are pretty low. They don't have much. And they all kind of die to Ushopti, which worries me slightly. I guess I could try the wild rotfly counter, or maybe toads, and just say, you know what, they're gonna get shot, that's okay. Sure. Do I want Nurglings? Do I? Nurglings are very good for late game capture weight. I'll give them that. Tomb Kings don't have a lot of ways to clear Nurglings either, so they're probably okay to doing it. Your stream start timer got to 0 and then jumped to starts in 45 minutes. Weird. Huh. Is it I know when I first did you start watching the stream? You must have joined, yeah, like 49 minutes ago, because I set it up, but I forgot to set the time, so it defaulted to 1 minute after I was setting it up, and I was like, oh crap, so I switched it over quickly. But I think you clicked the stream while I was still switching it, so you got mega debated. I'm so sorry, my dude. Darn stream. Accidentally shipped it too early. Epidemius. Oof. Epidemius is fun. Against Tomb Kings, though, isn't he just gonna die? I feel like with the Ushopti and the spell casting, it's pretty nasty. Hey, Grizzlebear, what's up? We're playing Nurgle versus Tomb Kings. Basically, I am only allowed to play lower tier factions, and specifically ones for counterpicking. So, like Norska's banned, Chaos is banned, Slaanesh is banned, Vampire Counts is banned, Vampire Coast is banned. We can't do any of these kind of generalist factions. Is he not always just gonna die? He got Turin's vote for worst lord in the game. Or at least worst lord on the Nurgle roster. Epidemius was not rated very highly. But okay, so fun little setup we got going here. I got a million Marauders. We got some Chosen, as I've been liking their addition recently. They're just chunky little fellows with a ton of capture weight. And the goal is simple. Bog down my opponent in the tide of man. Although this is more of a chunky man tide. We got Chaos Knights for some elite mass, some Plague Toads for some cheap mass. Lots of Nurglings for a potential late game, some Horsemen if we need to. And okay, we're just gonna see some Skeleton Horse Archers. Not a big deal. What, we got some Ushopti? Ushopti are slightly scary. We got some Ushopti Great Bows, interesting. But all this kind of tells me we can take it easy. I am in no rush. I can probably just capture these 2 points, and the Ushopti can't actually do enough damage to me. A little bit of dodging goes a long way. It's gonna stop them from getting a volley on my Marauders, which could potentially do thousands of damage. It's a very good idea to just loop-de-loop with this guy. As you can see, the Skeleton Horse Archers, only minor damage. This guy regenerates too. And already we're getting a slight advantage through just raw damage mitigation. If we're lucky, he might even friendly fire. Or maybe even get a couple kills. Very nice. Whoop. Get the dodge. Fastest Chaos Sorcerer of the West. Alright, and that is going to be a Shem's Burning Gaze, I think. Okay, we have some Sepulchral Stalkers, so that tells me probably do just want to get more dudes. I'm gonna park these guys way over here so they can seal the point if my opponent repositions. And to deal with the Stalkers, I have a few options. None of them feel very great though. Most of them involve just sitting around and tanking their shots. But I guess that might be a good thing. It's not like they have a lot of ammunition, right? In fact, my opponent's whole army just doesn't really have a lot of ammunition. So I think if we just kind of sit here and suffer for a little bit, I think we'll be okay. Kind of a wild idea, but yeah. I'm just gonna convert my dudes into a spent ammo. Thank you, Marauders, for tanking that shot. Just got shot by Khalida. These guys are relatively cheap and they're shielded, so they don't really care about the shots that much. Now I am giving my opponent basically free reign here. I almost just want to fight. It's not like he has that much, right? I gotta push him off the point too, so sure, let's try it out. I got my Blight Boil. Okay, the question is, where will these Ushopti go? Because they can get a lot of punishment going. Sure. Should be pretty hard for him to push in, though. I think the Ushopti are still a big problem. As soon as these guys are out of ammunition, though, life will be better. Life should be quite significantly better. There they go. There's the Ushopti. So how do I want to deal with them? Do I just ignore them? Do I pull back in a way and let these guys cook instead? I do have a hidden unit of Chosen mixed in. That'll be very fun and exciting. We can do some fancy plays like this where I just Blight Boil his dudes. Okay, and the Ushopti are overextending slightly, so what I think we do now is we just get our Chaos Knights. Lord will be okay. Blight Boil, not exactly the best thing I've ever seen. You were my Chosen at? Oh, they're miles away. They are miles away. So far, not terrible though. Pestigores are doing okay. Just gonna summon 2 Nurglings over here to stop this point from being captured. I will say my opponent's making some good moves. Ouch! Oh, jeez. All right. My Lord took a little bit of damage from the Khalida. He's gonna evac. Just run for your life, good sir. Oh boy, here come the chariots. This is very much a trust the process kind of game. And right now my Chaos Knights are actually doing nothing, which is not exactly the best. If anything, they're getting negative value because they're giving his Ushopti a little target to shoot at. I very much do not like that. Okay, big question though, can we save the point? Unfortunately not. My opponent does actually manage to secure that. That's very bad. Ushopti will be shut down soon though. The Marauders are holding out surprisingly well too. I will say I am thoroughly impressed with the Marauders. Geez, I really shouldn't have let them get that point though. That's gonna put me in a very, very awful situation. Of course, value-wise, it ain't too pretty either. Yeah, look at the Marauders though. They're really killing it. Love to see it. I really got to secure this point though. How's this fight going? Plague Bearers are doing okay. Chosen are killing it. And I do have all these Chaos Knights at the ready. Ready to cause a little bit of pain. I just have to keep these Ushopti shut down and life should be fairly straightforward. I guess I could get some toads. He doesn't have enough ammo, right? Doesn't have nearly enough ammo to kill everything. Do I go for the Khalida? I don't know. We'll see. See how my plague drones do against her. And then we'll see if the Chaos Knights end up cooking. Was Ushopti are still running? Jeez Louise. Alright, there you go. We do get the point. Very, very big misplay though. I lost a lot of time there. We lost a lot of time. Chaos Knights, you know what? They're just here to stall, really. And I think the big play comes from stealing this point. By spamming some Nurglings over here, I think we can actually get some good work done. Jeez, those plague drones, those suck versus Khalida. Pretty sure the best option is just to ignore her. We'll go ahead and do that. And then hopefully we can get this point nice and quickly. And then the hope is that the Tomb Kings are just a little too slow. They are quite slow in general. That's going to be a great Chaos Knight charge too, by the way, on the Stalkers. I have a big old fleshy abundance for them too. And here come the Nurglings. Ushopti have been ground to dust by the Plague Bearers. Plague Bearers are so good in melee, man. It's crazy. Very nice. And I think we'll check out our first heal over here. Chosen are indestructible, apparently. They're doing great. Okay, let's see if we can brace them Marauders real quick. And then... how the Chosen doing? Leadership is still 44. Dang. Dude, Nurgle Chosen are kind of chads. I must say, I am actually quite impressed with them. Unfortunately, my Chaos Knights died. That's not great. Although it is just a rout, it's not the end of the world. But we see a little bit of a sniping attempt on my Lord here. He's still netted for 14 seconds. I would say that is quite the bad situation. I must say, this is quite the slow grind of a game. Oh boy, okay. Alright, there. Kalita's coming from my flesh. This guy's heal cap too. Let's check out a spell before he dies. Yo, look at this guy. He's giving me like a big old run around, man. Okay, I think I need some emergency capture weight. Just to make sure we don't lose any points or anything. There are certainly a lot of dudes here. But if I can just hold on to the points for a couple of minutes and give them a hard time, we may still have a good chance. Nurglings can distract the Stalkers. Alright. And then we'll see if I can keep my Lord alive. He might also just spend so much time trying to kill the Lord that we can also still do well, right? I just have to make sure we stick to the point. We're going to try and stabilize this bad boy. Hey, there he goes. And the guy recovers at the cost of a couple dudes, a couple horsemen. But he will be able, whoopsie daisies, to recover and hide in the trees now. Guy is gotta retire. And then hopefully we can hold on to these points just that little bit longer. They do manage to seal this one, which is a little rough. And oh, there he goes. They got the snipe, bro. Oh my gosh, what a guy. I am down trading quite dramatically too. I think these Nurglings will have to evacuate so that we can hold this point over here. And then I gotta secure this one somehow, some way. Gotta make sure this one never falls. There are some Stalkers nearby, which is not great. Oh man, dude, if that Lord didn't die. If he didn't die, this would not be so sketchy. Honestly, my opponent played it quite well. Very maneuverable with their army. I kind of misplayed a little bit. There's some plays I wish I would have made differently. But yeah, without that Lord, now we're kind of screwed. Honestly, I think if I just stuck harder with the Mantide, we would have been fine. Just spam some Forsaken, get a whack load of infantry. And then there's not a whole lot that can be done. But I'm about to be army wiped. I don't know how I can pull back value here. Not with these guys running around. Maybe I can get a ton of Plague Bearers, though? No, he has Necropolis Knights. Alright, that's GG. GG, well played. Dang, man. Alright, I gotta work on my Nurgle counter. Brutality. Absolute brutality. How'd the Marauders do? Marauders were not bad, considering there were Ushopti running around. Chosen did great. I actually quite like the Chosen. I think if you just double down on the Mantide and secure the points a little faster, like that was a long fight, man. I just needed some capture weight. So just like replace these guys with Forsaken and we're good. Chaotic Semmel. Yo, yo. But yeah, I think that was totally winnable. Totally winnable. We will try to avenge ourselves. All right. Okie dokie. What are they playing? They're playing Empire. All right. On Imperial Road. We're gonna try counterpicking them. I think, what's it? Dark Elves are really fun counterpick versus Empire. Dwarves are really fun counterpick versus Empire. And then, what's the good last one? Skaven? Sure, let's do that. I'm gonna have to only win, by the way, from here on out. We got knocked down hard, man. And he wants to play versus Skaven. Alright. Lizardmen banned? No, Lizardmen aren't banned. I just haven't found a good, not a great counterpick unit yet. Yeah, 3k points in reserve in that Nurgle game was rough. So many misplays, but alright. I think we can do some fun stuff with Skaven. Eshin Sorcerer shenanigans, mayhaps? I will say it is, there are actually some pretty crazy plays you can make with this. What is this? Every time you cast a spell, minus 10% speed for all enemies for 10 seconds. Is there like a weird Skaven build where you take the sorcerer and you spam spells to slow down everything? I feel like there's almost a build here. Almost, not quite. What's a spam you can spell? Warp Stars and Skitterly? Can I just perma slow them? Maybe? Yeah, I went downhill after the Rotfly summon. I honestly had really bad reserves. As Nurgle, I should be more used to filling out my reserves with infantry. If I do that, I'll be okay. Alright, Imperial Road. So, Empire is a... They're a decent faction. They got a lot of scary stuff. They got the cavalry spam, but I've seen Charix play this one enough to kind of have a rough idea of what we want to do here. I think we actually want to go slightly more ranged heavy here. Because Empire, of course, they don't have a great rush, right? That's the rough idea. Yeah, this seems like a Charix build. Seems like quite the Charix build. Yeah, okay. I noticed the Storm Vermin were actually pretty hype when I faced them as Empire. They did pretty well, so I might be interested in running them too. Yeah, okay. Seems like a good enough build. Let's do it. Subscribe for 14 months. Dang, Caprillo, thank you very much. Is this is only for factions. Spells and units I can still go meta. Otherwise the challenge would become too difficult. You're doing great, don't look at the score. I will avenge myself. Redemption is on our way. You gotta start with the Nurgle L. Okay, but this is where the shenanigans are. So yeah, so this is a proper forest. So what I can do at the very start, I can stealth my dogs. So I am using Skitterleap. I do have the speed of Lycos. It is a pretty fun strategy, I would say. Pretty fun strategy. Because if your opponent decides to bring artillery, which they'll be incentivized to because of all your own range and your own artillery, then I can just jump him without him even realizing that I have the doggos. It's pretty sick. And indeed, double Hellstorm rocket battery. Oh, hell yeah. Wait, yo, this is actually insane, guys. So if you overcast this, it lasts, only lasts 25 seconds. I do have the speed of light ghost. But the dogs are fast. The dogs are hella fast. So I just gotta distract them a little bit. double time. Get that speed. All right, here we go. What? I'm on the wrong hotkey. How long's the stealth? 8 more seconds? 7 more seconds? Come on, come on. Come on, you little doggos. Dude, that temporary turnaround might have doomed him, but he's not gonna see them just yet. One of them has the speed of light code, so he doesn't know that there's 2 of them. And if he's distracted with Elspeth. Yeah, there we go. Oof. Oof. Oh man, the double Hellstorm death. All right, that's gonna be pretty solid. Yeah, I don't know why he's still dodging with Elspeth. Does he want to get a Buna on these guys? I think he does, but this is like not worked. He got the Buna on my on my Rattling gunners, but he was so distracted he lost all of his artillery. 3,000 value lead? Hell yeah. Yeah, very unfortunate for my opponent. Well, this could very well be a short game, people. Elspeth is gonna... Oh my gosh, she might actually just straight up die. Teleports behind you. Nothing personal, kid. Oh, there she goes. She's gone. Can I escort her off with the sneaky boy? Skaven's good against Empire. They're a decent counterpick. I've actually seen Charix make it pretty even looking. Jeez Louise, what a massacre though. Sometimes the misplays will get ya. And I was a little slow with the doggos too. Alright, one more hit on the Elspeth. That's quite a bit of deeps. She does not like that, not in the slightest. Gonna get the Spirit Leech. Oh my goodness, the Natty Boobos lived. Oh my gosh. You're telling me Elspeth doesn't even kill him? Bro, that's rough. So they're just gonna continue to be an issue and hit at full deeps. Well, that's just unfortunate. Especially with Elspeth taking another one of these warp stars. Lore of Eshin, people. Lore of Eshin is actually one of the best meme lores. It's like a meme lore that actually is not bad. You can see these, shouldn't they be slowed when I cast a spell? Yeah, infinite effect range. I feel like they should be a bit slow, but whatever. There we go. Point is secured, and then we just walk Elspeth off the map. I think at this point we can start spamming doggos for cleanup. Oh my goodness, bro. Like everything went wrong for my opponent. I just feel bad for him. It was pretty rough having Elspeth so bullied. I will say not killing the Natty Boobos is really bad. I thought it would. Because she also has Spell Amp, so by many measures she should actually be able to get quite a bit of work done. Lost Elspeth and all of their artillery to not even... Oh, technically 1 kill on the Boobos. I lost 1 entity. Bro, that's rough. Yeah, this went very badly for them. I think everything that could have went wrong here. Get in there, Night Runners. There's the doggy charge. We can start spamming some spears. And then I can start shooting them up with the Natty Boobos. I'll have to keep that in mind, that you need a little bit more than a Buna. Though technically one artillery hit would have done it, right? If you can just clip them with artillery and then do the Buna, then you should be fine. Unfortunately, I killed the artillery a little too quickly. This would be a great surround on these spearmen. See, they only have 20 leadership. Look at how quickly it goes down when they are charged in the rear. There you go. Oh, huh, not charge in the rear, just charge in the flank. Regardless, they still route very easily. Big route over yonder. And yeah, I think let's just push up with these. Let's get this triple cap going. The horned rat was smiling on that play. I will say, it was pretty sick. Them just being completely unprepared for that big ol' rat charge. Especially on trees with maps. It is actually it's a play that a lot of people won't expect. The only thing is that artillery is just not super popular in today's day and age. So you don't actually get as many opportunities to do this at higher levels. Most people are going a whole variety of other stuff, unfortunately. Yo, this assassin though, or Eshin Sorcerer, he was basically an assassin with the warp stars. That was great, man. His leadership kind of sucks though. Just from damage sustained. Holy moly. What the? And how'd you route? You got shot a bit too much, I guess. Okay. Well, we got some handgunners. Should wait. If I use this hill to line of sight them, I think they can't shoot. No, it looks like they crested it just enough, unfortunately. Can I line of sight them with their own cavalry? Oh my gosh, this is filthy, bro. Wait, yo, this is insane. This is a crazy play. Dude, the cav line of sight, that's actually insane. Oh my gosh, yo, this is the sneakiest game I've ever had. GO played. Well, yo, I've actually never done that before in all my years of playing Warhammer. Holy moly, dude, that's nasty. That's nasty. Jeez, all right. Got our next opponent. Yo, yo. It reminds me of like watching Grubby building farms to surround heroes in his base. So they're playing Bretonnian on Putrefying Carcass. I'll go corn. Let's see here. Who beats Bretonnian? So there's corn. There's like this is all the slow heavy metal factions, right? The Nurgle. Always with the Nurgle. Greenskins are Greenskins good versus Bretonnian? Are they bad? Oh, dwarves, of course. Gotta go dwarves. I think this is a good enough lineup. Corn, Nurgle, and dwarves. I bet he's gonna want to face a Nurgle. I need to practice him though. I must understand the way of the Nurgs. Send this to turn, the Horned Rat approves. It's kind of just a pub stomp though. I don't know if I would send it to turn. It is a fun play though. But yeah, I was definitely just abusing the fact that my opponent just had way too much artillery. We're not in a tournament? We are in a tournament. Like, this isn't ladder, but I think it would be a bit mean to my opponent. Because it really is just them kind of making a misplay. Make it a short then. As a short, I think we could do that. I'll make it a short. Here, I'll write down a note. Short. Game 2, dogs on RT plus line of sighting. guns. Sure, I can do that. Also, by the way, did you guys see the sick update? There was an update to the game. They fixed some bugs. Is anyone just like really underwhelmed by it? If they just have regular bug fix updates, I think that's good. But like, if this is just what we're getting, you know, it's not like they fixed the gate bug or anything. They did actually change the AI though. In siege battles, they like stop spaghetti lining or something. So that's pretty good. But if that's the only thing, I don't know if I'm like, I don't know if I'm amazed or anything. But all right, Bretonia. We're gonna have a bit of fun today. I think these guys are pretty good. Yeah, let's try and have some fun. There are some builds. There are some builds that are just pretty solid here, right? I found the Plague Ogre is not as exciting as they could have been last time. Anyone know if Barons of the Bog are good? Are they good versus Bretonia? I don't know if Marauders of Nurgle are good versus Bretonia. It's kind of a weird option, but I could kind of see them being okay. Sure, let's try this. Bretonia's they're a weird faction. The cavalry's an absolute menace. Forsaken can kinda stand their ground against their charges, but in general, Bretonia's pretty nasty. But I think Nurgle has quite a few good tools against them. I just need to make sure I have enough quality summons is all. If I remember from last time, call-ins were quite important, and I need to remember to de-summon too. That one's actually even more impactful. If I forget to de-summon, I could potentially screw myself over. Because last time, we actually ran out of infantry to bring onto the battlefield. The frogs? The Barons of the Bog? Okay. Still can't get a Khorne game, though. Everyone keeps banning Khorne because it's too good of a counter. Demons of Chaos? That's like the worst matchup for demons. Bretonia has so much magic damage cavalry. You just get completely run down. Yeah, even pleasure seekers would be hard pressed to charge into some Grail Knights. Good luck, thank you. If you're gonna do low tier factions, would you also use their low tier units? Nah, that would be too much for handicap. If I was a specialist at bad factions, I could probably do it. But I've practiced the meta faction so much, I'm not in the right shape to do such things. It's the last update before we get the new Tiger Lord for Cathay. Oh, that's pretty hype. Tiger Lord should be pretty exciting. Does anyone know what they're gonna be? Please tell me Cathay's gonna get some fast infantry. Cathay needs fast infantry so badly. I think the moment they get that, they actually become quite the terrifying faction. Did I forget my magic? Oh, she. Ready, good luck, have fun. See, this is what people were talking about when I was talking about the low tier spells, right? They're like, why don't you just not bring spells? And you know what? I think that's a brilliant idea. Oh boy! All right, we're gonna win off of Kaizek and this Chaos Lord alone. We got a melee attack debuff, we got the damage reflect, and Kaizek has a melee defense debuff. Combined, Combined, it's kind of like a Helm of Discord, right? They've gone for Cav Max. They got the Alberic. This is fine, actually. So all I gotta do is just slow push the points. I am in no rush to get underway here. And I just need to make sure that my reinforcements can actually... make sure they can actually reinforce points. So who do I want here? Because it's going to be hard to get reinforcements in for a little while. Noxbringer is pretty hype, at least. I think I do want the Barons of the Bog. Because they have a slow, and my Lord also has a little slow aura. But yeah, I got to make sure the Pegasus Knights don't catch him out. That's why I'm so slow with my infantry. In case you need to double back to save these guys. Trebuchet is here. Trebuchet is not bad for us because it significantly weakens my opponent's ability to rush me down. And the Noxbringer can also burn its ammunition, just to make life a little bit simpler for us. So far, so good. Noxbringer actually landed a hit, but the Trebuchet did too. Let's just get another pot shot. Yo, Noxbringer to counter Trebuchet is kind of sick, though. I do like that. I have to be careful not to summon Nurglings here too early. If I do, I could screw myself pretty bad. Fortunately, I did forget to get the point, though. Whoops-a-daisies. Gotta keep dodging with the infantry. Thankfully, my heavy hitters have not been hit too hard yet. And it looks like there's a little bit of a tussle going on. Does he want to commit? The answer appears to be no. That's not too bad then. I unfortunately did not get the point though, but this will free up some space for my Forsaken perhaps. Was he trying to bait out one of my abilities? It feels like he was. It feels like he was trying to. We did manage to get a point though. Very nice. And the Barons of the Bog, they will be doing their bestest. We did basically shut down the thingamajig there at least. And the Barons of the Bog doing pretty good. We're gonna get that damage effect going now. And we're gonna reduce their stats very soon. I think we do want another Forsaken too. Very nice. These are just sacrificial marauders. They're there to pin them down and give them a hard time. I will say this point is taking forever to flip. So that's going to make my ticket play much worse, but we do eventually get it. And what we can do is we can kind of play around this tree line here. Now the question is, what did they do now? What does my opponent want to do? Ooh, man, those trebuchets are really messed up, man. We actually kind of brutalized them. I think I may have overextended with these boys, sadly. Looks like they are about to get murdered. And not before I can get a little bit of a pot shot on some Grail Guardians, mayhaps. Run, little marauders, run. They may get terror routed, but at the end of the day, they are just marauders. Trebuchet is actually completely empty, by the way. And okay, we're actually going to see maybe a commitment. No, not from the human. So far, so good. As long as I kind of keep in this blob, there's not a whole lot my opponent can actually do. I just have to stay in a very tightly knit blob so that if they do decide to rush into me, they won't be able to get any leverage. And then we just got to keep our expensive units alive, like this Chosen. And then I think we basically have everything we need. Let's get another pot shot onto the Yeomen. Okay, we're gonna see another big charge. Some Royal Pegasus Knights yearning for the death. I do have damage reflect going. But yeah, they're not committing to a fight. I can kind of wait until after they commit to a fight before I really need to worry. And this is just gonna be a Yeoman back cap. That's actually fine for me because yeomen are so bad at fighting. And as it stands, my army is actually quite large. Yep. So they go for a bit of a feint. They don't actually want to go for that fight. I have to be really careful because if I use my damage reflect ability, the cooldown that it incurs, it's quite dramatic. So far, so good, though. The Nurgle time going pretty well. Am I going to want that damage reflect yet? Yeah, well, Barrack is in. Seems like they might want to go for a play now, though. So I just need to kind of defend against this. And then I will be okay. Chaos Lord of Nurgle really hurts, by the way. Alberic's actually kind of getting hunted by the Kaizek. Wait, yo, this might be an insane play. Dude, if he dies here... Oh my gosh, dude, the big misplay. Alberic's getting bogged down. Body block him. We got the slows. Oh my gosh, bro, the pounce. Nurgle's like an alligator. Slow. Almost not moving until they jump your face. Now, Alberic does manage to escape in the end, but not before he takes some pretty massive damage. Gonna pop our abilities here on the Lord, since he has finally committed to a bit of a fight. And we're just gonna bring in our axe throwers here. Lord should be able to skedaddle from that situation. And then the way you maximize the axe thrower damage, you just want to park as close as possible. And then give him that little right click. Unfortunately, he does take the opportunity to charge me, but I get a little bit of an attack. Big route on the yeoman. Honestly, the Noxbringer is insane, man. I can't believe I don't run this guy all the time when I play Nurgle. I think that's what most people say when they see me play. Very nice. And now we can go for the triple cut. Honestly, this went pretty well. Just kind of slow, methodical. I will say I think my opponent's build wasn't perfect for what I was bringing. At the end of the day, I had quite a bit of a starting advantage, but I still like it. Piece of Nurgle, by the way, for the melee attack reduction. And we got these guys for more debuffs. I'm basically just debuff stacking. And we're gonna see if we can get the Noxbringer onto Alberic. There we go. And then Alberic, we're gonna pin him down with the Beasts of Nurgle. And that's gonna be game. GG. Hell yeah, that actually went pretty good. Still got it. We got the Nurgs going. GG. Not bad, not bad. Noxbringer was clutch, man. Dude, the Noxbringer was so clutch. How much damage did the Trebuchet get? Yeah, nothing. Noxbringer just sniped it from downtown. Dang, Vesterong, hello. It's going pretty good. We just we got a Nurgle win. Started the day with a Nurgle loss, but we're making up for it. And currently we are in 3rd place. So as long as I keep winning games, we'll be good. But I may fight Surzurmiz. We might fight Berserk. There are some scary players. Pegasus probably beat Rawflies. Yeah, they beat like all of Nurgle's Air Force. You can't win the air game versus Bretonnian unless you're like High Elves. They are so incredibly good at that air game. Huh. Chosen actually didn't lose a single entity. Insane. I like the throwing axes. Yeah, this felt pretty good. The Forsaken too were very hardy. How'd the Marauders do? Honestly, not bad, considering they were kind of my throwaway unit. I should use Nurgle Marauders more. They just seem solid. Just like Marauders, Forsaken, and Pestigors. Would Exalted Plaguebearers work in that matchup? Seems like the ammo would be a good deterrent to Grail Knights. Probably not bad. They are a little expensive. The question is, would you rather have these guys or would you rather have the Chosen? So they have more HP, but the big thing is the lack of armor. Chosen forced Bretonnia to bring a bit more armor, and that's the one thing that they're really bad at doing. Whereas the Plague Bearers, it's not so much. Now, I think if you already have armor in the form of Chaos Warriors, then you do go for the Stooges. It's just kind of having that mix so that they can't fully counter you. Now, as a deterrent for cav charges, you don't have to deter it that much, because you can already kind of punish cav charges with mass and just SEs. So like having Rot or Die and all that, it works pretty well. Oh, nice, B6. We're up against B6. But yeah, there's a little bit of that already, and the fact that you slow them plus some high mass. So yeah, like I think if played well, they would just kind of avoid you. All right, here we go. Who's top bracket? I'm top bracket. Oh boy, how am I supposed to counterpick if I'm picking first? Chosen all the way. I think the Chosen are better. Chosen of Nurgle are quite fine. Insanely high melee defense and really high health. So they're actually really tanky. And they don't get sniped by the usual sources of damage. You can't just chuck a spell at them or just charge them once and they die. The Pox Riders have a vigor increase ability, but it doesn't activate. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. If they give us Royal Pegasus Knights and Hippogriff Knights on tabletop, the Air Force Death Star will be unstoppable. You don't have that on tabletop? I'd say that's surprising. I thought like most everything in the game is in tabletop. Except for like maybe the biggest of monsters. Alright, so let's see. What we could do, since I'm first pick, I could just go Slaanesh and then counterpick. And then counterpick after. And then that way they ban out the Slaanesh matchups, right? Although people tend not to ban Slaanesh because they want to test builds against them. It does activate. It's every 20 seconds. I have no idea, man. I'm no Nurgle connoisseur. Beastmen and Norska. Okay. That's easy Lizardmen pick. Lizardmen are amazing. Beastmen and Norska. Ooh, I could go Bretonnia. What's the map? It's pretty big. That's a pretty good one for Bretonnia. Ah, hell yeah. Slaanesh, Lizardmen, Bretonnia, Beastmen, Norska, Tomb Kings. Okay, I will ban Bretonnia versus Tomb Kings. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping they just ban out the Slaanesh matchups and then we're good. If they just ban out a little bit of that, I'll be fine. Nice, they banned Slaanesh Tomb Kings. Hell yeah. Alright, so I can force either Lizardmen or Bretonnia versus Norska or Beastmen. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You always point to their tabletop roster. Wait, Bretonnia had a smaller roster on tabletop than they did in game 1. That's absurd. Ooh, okay. Lizardmen or Bretonnia versus Norska. Oh my gosh. Somebody call Pope Patty. Everybody start DMing Pope Patty. Tell him it finally happened. Aw, hell yeah, dude. I get to play some Bretonnia. I feel like it's been 50 years. Norska ain't too bad. The main thing about the Norskins is that you just gotta cycle charge their infantry, right? As long as you can kill off the skin wolves and whatnot, honestly, you're pretty fine. Let's see here. What spells do I want here? I don't really need that many spells. You do have to be a little careful about, like, if they have like a double chimera build. You do have to be a little bit wary of that. But I think after you've settled that score, life is pretty chill. Also, don't get bunad. The usual, right? Redeem the hydrate, thank you. I decide how much and which infantry and a stretch and which infantry units to bring with Nurgle. They all seem to cover similar roles. So there's only a few units that are actually good there. Most of the warrior units are not that good because they're so slow. So you basically just have Forsaken, Marauders, and Pestigors. Pestigors are armor piercing, Forsaken are tanky, and Marauders are cheap. So they all fill different niches. And you don't really take a lot of the other infantry. I guess you take Plague Bearers as a tech piece versus Undead, because they're good versus Undead. So they're really good in melee if they're not being shot. And that's kind of where you find that, you know, the differentiation between the infantry units. So we're versus Norska. I guess let's just start with this. It's not the worst idea to just have a bunch of hella cheap knights. Let's see here. What else do I want? You obviously need a little bit of armor piercing. You're gonna need a little bit of infantry clear. Norska can go massed armor here to kind of bully you. So you need just a little bit, just a few options to handle that, and you'll be okay. And then obviously don't get wrecked by a Dreadmaw. So yeah, if you see a Dreadmaw at the start, just don't bring the units that die to it. So far so good. I do like this build. Actually, if I really don't want to die to Dreadmaw, I could do this. And then Green Knight. Do I want the Green Knight? Green Knight's pretty high. Kind of expensive though. But they are certainly very exciting. If I remember correctly, Green Knight's pretty brutal for the Norskins to deal with. Yeah, it should be pretty good. You know, they can spam Fimir, but it's not impossible to beat them up. If you get even a little bit of armor piercing cav, they fall like the rest of them. Is this really the build I want, though? Does this feel good? It seems not bad. I get the weird feeling that I'm missing something, but I guess we'll see. Oy. But yeah, thank you for reminding me to hydrate and stretch. It is actually super important that I don't sit in my chair all day. Good day. Ooh, capstone. That's I don't know much about the capstone. But I'm happy it's going well. Redeem 15 squats. Hey, there you go. Naldor. I guess we can do that while we wait. Love the Green Knight on tabletop. If he dies, he has a chance to just come back on your next turn. Are you kidding me? That's insane. Hey, you kind of have that with his regeneration, though. Where he just runs into the trees and then he comes back. Happy to help. Oh, boy. Gotta get in shape. Gotta be ripped city. Ooh. Alright. Hey, that was much easier than the other day. The other day I did 10 squats and I was dying. Alright. Missing 4 trebs. I wish... Oh man, I wish I could run Trib 0, but the Dreadmaw really just shuts him down too hard. One of Norska's worst matchups, yeah. Norska doesn't really have the mobility to beat Bretonnia. Bretonnia actually kind of dumpsters Norskan mobility. And that's kind of their strong suit. Like, Norska is infantry. Good infantry, good mobility. Right? With the Ice Wolves and Skin Wolves. Bretonnia is just really good mobility. And the thing is, if you have really good mobility over your opponent, it's kind of like air superiority in IRL. Their infantry just kind of suck. Their infantry doesn't do much without mobile support. And it kind of breaks apart the whole Norskan strategy. So naturally, we're gonna cav max. Take a bunch cavalry. No Grail Knights today. I do have the Green Knight. I do have a couple questing knights for that AP. And just in case we get to a super late game where they just have like shreds of infantry everywhere, we have the cleanup crew. So a little bit of infantry to mop them up. But first things first, we got to see what in the world they brought. And it's gonna be a final transmuter, Searing Doomer. We do have some Barrowmen, which slows them down quite a bit. And we have a little bit of a slow play. Guy's not advancing. Well, I know what can make him advance. Being shot in the face. We want him to advance because it opens up more opportunities. It opens up much more opportunities for me to get some sick cav plays. And if they build up on a triple cap, it honestly is not that bad for me. Because I have, it's, you know, it's still going to take them just as long to actually win the game. So I ain't too worried. I just got to make sure I don't overblob my cavalry. Just got to make sure we don't misplay them or anything. Got to make sure nothing jumps out of the trees at me here. Yeah, there you go. Some ice doggos. But already the bullying begins. So anytime he's kind of out of position, even slightly with his units, we're going to get a free charge. If they get their stuff in position, then we don't go for the charge. And then we just kind of slowly wear down these forces. A couple ice doggos are not really a big deal. You can see the Barrowmen are actually suffering pretty hard. Oh, this would be a big misplay if they let their ice doggos get charged. It seems like one of them do. Gonna use our little buff on Alberic. We'll just keep bullying them berserkers. And when the ice dogs are out, then we just pull away. As long as I kind of keep this up, just keep up the bullying, we can keep their army extraordinarily slow. You can see their general advance is just really lacking, right? And that's because they're constantly having to set up for being charged. This is going to be an amazing little play. We're going to get a nice little leadership debuff there. I'll be able to survive the final transmutation by just pulling away with Alberic. We just gotta make sure we don't accidentally send him on to the Lord where he'll die. As soon as the final transmutation's done, then we just charge him straight into this little blob. And that should be super duper painful. Because now he's down the Skin Wolves. Very nice. I don't even need a regrowth Alberic just yet, but I might as well give him that slight vigor boost. Gotta be a little careful. I overstayed my welcome slightly in this area. And Alberic is slightly pinned down. But he will be able to escape, so that's not too bad. Alright. Let's just keep pulling back. Value trading wise, though, it's actually slightly behind. I did get some good routes, but it ain't over yet. We still have a proper match to play. Okay, this should be a good fight. I have anti-large at the ready. And we are getting the charge on the Kurgans. They really don't like that. If I can kill off his lord too, he slightly overextends. That's great. And I'm just gonna give him the points because we're here to value trade. Definitely, we just want to get the value. That may very well be a dead lord if he's not careful. So just gonna use the Green Knight on him. Gonna get the Alberic on his face. Alberic. Alberic the missile. Nah, it looks like he will be able to escape. Just barely. Alright. And I just gotta regroup a little. Now, with the Green Knight here, the damage should be quite good. Like I said, we do have some pretty nice infantry we can get in here. Just have to be a little careful. I don't have a lot of a lot of stuff in this area. Of course, Alberic is just a Chad, so he can just charge in and get a bunch of deeps on his own. But we do have to be a smidge careful. Those axe throwers are kind of nasty. Green Knight's tanky. He can hold out on his own just fine. And yeah, you see these kind of spare units of infantry? That's where we mostly want to be using our foot squires and such. It's mostly where we want them. Now, there's not much here. So I believe what we can do is just kind of give them the slip through. And hopefully get some shutdowns on all this stuff. You know, this is a good fight. So we routed off some bearmen. They're gonna whiff another Searing Doom. That's huge. Should be able to kill off the Marauders. And as you can see, we still have lots of time, right? Ticket-wise, we're doing great. His Lord is now being super bullied. This is perfect. You really want to get those Skin Wolves routed. And then if I can just chase down the Lord, then life is super duper good for us. Green Knight can bully him real bad too. And there's the route. And I think we just go for that Lord Snipe. He is extremely out of position now. Just have to be a little careful about the ice doggos, but this is what Alberic's for. We'll just we'll just charge him in. Everyone's getting shot up here, so they are getting pretty nasty leadership debuffs. Though he manages to keep the Lord nearby, he'll be able to continuously provide leadership. And he will get a pretty solid Searing Doom. Ouch. Quite nasty, actually. Gotta be a little careful. Don't want to accidentally overextend and lose all my stuff here. So I think we're probably gonna have to pull away with this terror route. Value trading wise, it's still kind of close. So I gotta be quite careful. This is a good route though. And of course, we have Alberic just crushing it. Yeah, with the anti-large bonuses and the Lord getting a little too far away, now the leadership of the Skin Wolves have flipped. And they are not liking the situation at all. Whoop, just gotta dodge that one. Maybe I can use this Priestess to get a charge and maybe break their leadership. Gotta get more cav here. The foot squires are doing good though. I like what they're doing. There's one terror out, huge. It's gonna require a lot of micro, that's for sure. And of course we have some problematic Fimir that gotta be killed off. Now, because we have the Green Knight, I can split my forces of my terror. I just gotta get Alberic out of here. But the Green Knight definitely can just sit on the Skin Wolves and get them killed. Unfortunately, Alberic's a little slow to the party, but I think we'll be okay. Foot squires are still doing good. Very solid. And okay, there we go. There is a route. So all I gotta do now is just avoid them Skin Wolves. Gotta make sure they don't cause too many issues. And maybe if we're lucky, we kill off the Lord. I will need to get a clean disengage here. Lest those Fimir pin me down and kill us. Okay, there we go. But I am about to get my next point. And value trading wise is still pretty good. I think we just gotta get a good enough disengage. It's here. Albert can definitely land here. I have so much cav support nearby. They'll be able to wipe the floor with any units that we see. Gotta remember, he has oh crap, okay, no, my caster's here. Okay, she's fine. Come on, get the point. I gotta get the point. I gotta clean up some skin wolves. At least the Green Knight's doing okay. Here you go. That should get him pretty messed up. We gotta dodge the Searing Doom. Thank goodness for that. Alright, Green Knight does manage the escape. Perfect, perfect. Whoa, what are you doing? Good sir. Yo, it's like he's trying to get his lord killed. Oh, he's a little pinned down, but Alberic's not turning to actually hit him. Okay, no, we're not going to be able to kill him. Unfortunate. Well, this makes life a little bit more difficult then. I should at least be able to reposition over here and probably secure a couple points, but now time is slightly of the essence. I would say I am ever so slightly uncomfortable. Now, of course, we still have Alberic. We still have a good amount of infantry. But actually securing points is going to be a little bit more difficult. B6 making this fight as hard as you possibly can. Okay, there's another route of the Skin Wolves though. And I should be able to dodge that Searing Doom. Very nice. Okay, I just gotta kill off these Berserkers then. And then hopefully Alberic can get in over here. Ugh. Gotta get a good enough charge. Maybe the Green Knight can go hunting. The Kurgans at least are not a problem. I can deal with the Kurgans. That's a very expensive loss, actually. Very nice for us. Okay. Gotta disengage. I think Alberic has to go for that Lord Snipe. We're going to reset his vigor. And then I'm going to start spamming the cav. Oh! Pretty nasty Searing Doom. I'll still be able to dodge some of it, but not nearly as much as I was hoping for. Okay, here we go. Get him, Green Knight. Green Knight's out for blood, man. This is it. He's gonna need to summon some units to stop the murderage. Oh. Dude, what a slippery little sorcerer. A very slippery little sorcerer. Okay, at least we have this point. All I need is the 1 point. We kill him. Is he dead? Hopefully he's dead. No, he's still alive. Gonna get another nasty Searing Doom. Huh. Okay, let's pull over here. This is an okay fight. Jeez, I'm really running out of time though. Time is of the essence. Okay, I think I have just enough time to get a unit there though. And of course, we're not losing this point anytime soon. But the Femir are going to be problematic. Now, I should be able to kill off the Lord soon. I do see there are some units over here, just some doggos that we can bully. Very nice. Okay, here we go. Green Knight's back on his Lord.
For the lady! Shield of Bretonnian! At once! The lady's vanquisher!
Okay. Pretty good charge on the doggos. I just gotta kill the doggos first. Alright. And then we're gonna use some halberds to hold this point along with my caster. That should be good enough. Did Green Knight kill his Lord finally? I can't tell. I don't see him. So I guess that's a good sign. Alright, there you go. Mass doggo route. I'll take that. Okay, I just gotta secure this point then. And not lose this one. I can use Yeoman to stall. Match is getting a little pitched. A little bit of a pitched battle, I must say. I think the Green Knight did finally kill off that Lord. So that part's good. There you go. Solid, solid. We got the capture weight here. Caster, unfortunately, is gonna die. No, come on. Ah, crap. All right, she'll rally, but I'm gonna need to secure this point very quickly. Okay, and then we gotta get to the next one very quickly. Oh, this one's gonna be close. This one's gonna be real close. Time is super of the essence right now. Okay, here we go. This should be an okay surround. I do have Alberic here, and the Fimir, they don't hold up super well. But he has a double cap again, so he realistically only needs a few seconds, which is not perfect. Now we do have questing knights, and we should be able to get some big routes. Plus, we have some battle pilgrims here. My opponent has decided to full commit to this engagement. So if I can secure this point in a decent amount of time, then maybe we still have a chance. I just gotta stop these Fimir over here. Okay. I just gotta stop this point from being captured. Not a lot of time though, but I will be able to get the point. That's good. He's making his final play though onto this one, so I kind of have to pull everybody. This one will be held though. I just have a solid 20 seconds to get this one. Now Alberic can't capture, so his goal first and foremost is to rout off these fools, and less so to do damage. Dang it. We're not gonna get it. Ah, dang. Dude, that was so close. GG, well played. Oh my gosh, bro, that was a crazy match. Wait, are we 3-2? That was a crazy close match. No, we're 2-2. Dang it. Oh man. All right, we can still make it to semifinals. But we'll have to be quick. Yo. Dang, I don't think I had the right units either. I probably should have just gone for Grails. I think Grail Knights are just much more punchy, right? And I wasn't using my magic super efficiently. We weren't healing our cavalry much. Oh, dang, man. He did a good job keeping his lord alive, though. All right. Let's get our opponents. I gotta be fast. So on Bleak Spire, Labor Camp. And I gotta win 2 games back to back. So this one, we have about a little under 30 minutes to get it done. So I just gotta be fast. But yeah, I should have gone for the Grails. I think even one in reserve could have done so much for mopping up duty. Although I'd have to figure out what I'd cut for the Grail Knight. Yeah, it was a serious brawl. I think I still don't really know how to deal with the Norskin infantry. At least not perfectly. Like, I know the Cav Max can do pretty well. Maybe I just don't go full Cav Max and it's fine. And I go for more of an archer build. Yeah, I don't know if the Foot Squires did super well, unfortunately. But alright. I have 25 minutes to finish this game and then find another one. So they go for vampire counts first. So High Elves is a very solid counter. And Khorne is a very solid counter. Royal Pegasus Knights that are key. Oh yeah, because they can just fly around and backstab. I was worried about them because I thought he would bring Buna. But I guess with regrowth, Buna's not as scary. Tomb Kings, okay. Vampire counts Tomb Kings. It's a very tight map. Greenskins is a nice one here. Alright, High Elves, Khorne, Greenskins, Vampire counts Tomb Kings, and Skaven! Oh my gosh, alright. Interesting, we got some Skaven action. It should be fun. High Elves, Khorne, and Greenskins versus Counts, Tomb Kings, and Skaven. Beast Slayers of Bastogne. Oh yeah. This is good though. This is actually really good practice for me. Okay, so he bans High Elves versus Skaven. I will ban High Elves versus Tomb Kings. Khorne is pretty good into all of them. Greenskins is pretty good into all of them, right? I'll ban Greenskins versus Tomb Kings. I kind of want to play the Greenskins versus Vampire Counts matchup. I actually quite like playing versus Vampire Counts, weirdly enough. It's weird, but like a lot of people don't like Vampire Counts, but as soon as you kind of understand what you got to do, as soon as you have the micro to get the DPS to kill their infantry, it's quite manageable because your opponent just doesn't have a lot of ways to make use of their micro. But we'll see. I did have a hard time clearing that Norscan army, that's for sure. Bans High Elves versus Vampire Counts. Bans Khorne versus Tomb Kings. Does he want to play Vampire Counts versus Khorne? That could be fun. You know what? Let's ban one Skaven matchup. Yeah, let's ban two Skaven matchups. Let's play versus Vampire Counts. This should be good. Where's my position on the ladder right now? I'm at a flat 1000 MMR, so I have to win the next two games. It is the only way. And then hopefully we get up-matched into people. Alright, I think he wants to play Vampire Counts into Greenskins. This is a much better matchup for Greenskins than people might expect. I don't have to use Foot of Gork either. I can use real magic. Yeah, let's do this. Can use real magic. Alright, we're playing Vampire Counts versus Greenskins. Hell yeah. We just played this one recently and it did go surprisingly well for us. I would love to replicate such a match. I almost want to go stealth rampage again with the Night Shroud. Almost. Is that actually what I should do though? Or probably not. I think there's better things to do than Night Shroud shenanigans, unfortunately. Yeah, let's do this. Let's change the banner. I already got a build. Should be fun. The Pope battle that Turin posted a couple of days ago was the way to go. How did they do it? Was it Space Pope or Pope Patty? You can do it with Skarsnik? Oh yeah. Cut infantry for 1 Grail and get Pegasus Knights. I will say, yeah, just like if I could just get 1 Pegasus Knight charge there, it would be so good for me. And it would give me a unit to heal with the regrowth too. I basically use no magic. So yeah, and they just delete Skin Wolves and they can chase them off. Yeah, Pegasus Knights would have been super clutch. But that's what happens when you're learning the Brets. Alright, Vampire Counts. Vampire Counts are a interesting faction. So they have the choice between Graveguard and Crypt Horrors to win the front line. Greenskins have the DPS to chunk a pure chaff army, so they kind of have to bring those. So the way you beat Vampire Counts is to have a solution for both. Any faction that can deal with Horrors and Graveguard effectively is not bad versus Vampire Counts. The capture weight situation's actually not the worst either. You can kind of manage the capture weight just by... You can kind of manage it just by spamming out enough infantry. There's a few factions that can't play the capture weight game nearly as well, but Greenskins is not one of them. Sometimes it can bring cavalry or like a black coach to make life more difficult for you, but those have their own counters. So in general, I would say I'm feeling all right. It's more about the strategic play than the raw micro. What are your thoughts on Earthblood for when your cavalry mass charge in? I think Earthblood is fine. I just kind of wanted to use regrowth, but the build wasn't perfect. I didn't have the right targets for it. If I'm doing cheap cav spam, Earthblood is better than regrowth. Yeah, not a single Khorne halberdier so far. The Khorne matchups, I've been trying to get Khorne in, but people aren't choosing to face them. I guess they're too strong. Alright, so we're up against Exul. Exul is currently below us. They have less MMR than us, so it'll be a little difficult to make it to top 4. But I still think if we can actually win, we can win our matches, or 2 matches, we'll still be fine. I am indeed going for the fanatic play. Alley-oop. And we even have a couple archers here. Alright. Ready, good luck, have fun. Would love to go for Black Orcs, but I kind of like this more mobile playstyle. We've got our River Trolls, which are really hyped too. They have terror, so they're actually kind of like high leadership trolls. Think about it. 55 leadership and ITP. That's not too bad. They have the same leadership as like a Slaanesh Marauder. Maybe slightly worse. Okay, slightly worse. Still though, right? These river trolls are like a Slaanesh Marauder worth of leadership. And honestly, that's good enough. As far as trolls are concerned, that's basically unbreakable. And then I got my sneaky Gobbo. If we do see a Dragon Lord, I'm gonna summon this guy so we can sneak rampage him. Some Gobbo archers because I had some extra money left over. It's all good. It's all great. All right, good luck, have fun. And here we go. We have a Manfred von Garstein. I see. Oh crap! I kind of played my hand. He sees the little Gobbo here, but he might not know that I got the stealth rampage strats. If he goes for the high ground, I can kind of just focus that. But yeah, big question is whether or not he can actually deal with these Gobbos. The Blood Knights too, I can actually bait into a bad situation. If I can get them to fight the River Troll hags, or not the hags, but the River Trolls, that would be magnificent for me. We do have fanatics up the wazoo. And he has Graveguard halberds. Wowza. Alright. That's kind of wild. Manfred's gonna want to go into melee probably. I can threaten a rampage on him. Oh, I did not see that zombie summon. Whoopsie daisies. There we go. Some good fanatic drops. Oh my goodness, that damage. Chuck him out. Get the fanatics. Oh my gosh, bro. The fanatics cook so hard. Are you kidding me? Here we go. Here we go. Beat him up. That's some extreme high DPS gobbos right there. Very nice. Very, very nice. Oh my goodness. Bro, look at that. Blood Knight's getting absolutely mulched. You love to see it. That's some good old Blood Knight abuse right there. And these goblins are going to come back with more fanatics, so I'm pretty happy about that. I would say this is a very good start. Them Blood Knights got brutalized. They're still being chased down. And then once again, your spaghetti lines will be your downfall. We counter spaghetti line zombies with fanatics. Dude, the damage on these goblins is absurd. They usually do not do this well. Okay, gotta pull back a little bit though. Don't want my boys to get murdered. Of course, is gonna be the heal there. But we're still good because I have yet another fanatic volley. Just gonna chuck that out. Then I can screen with the boys. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, those Graveguard are basically useless. We have yet another Fanatic Volley coming in too. I have more Fanatics over here. These guys are terror routed, but that's not really a big deal. And I think what we're going to do is just buff up the melee attack. Keep the leadership high and just make my guys super ultra fighty. Then while they try to run from the fightiness, we net them down again. Very good, very good. And then we're just going to chuck out more Fanatics. I think so, yeah. Fanatics into the horizon. This guy's gonna be traumatized by the mass Fanatics after this battle. I swear. Oh, and there's the Wog now? Jeez. Oh, boy. Dude. Dude, I love this build so much. You get to have so much fun. You gotta have so much fun with the mass Fanatics. Alright, now he finally does have a black coach. I will need to summon just a little bit of mobility for that one. It should be fairly manageable. There's the anti-large just to kill off the knights. Very nice. And Black Coach has yet to actually get in there, so that's going to buy me some time to get my cav going. Little Lord over here doing great. Blood Knights will be dead. And the leadership, I'm just going to spread them out, right? Just spread out the boys so that we can actually have leadership across the board. This Black Coach desperately trying to get anything done. But it's a little too late. My little gobos. My wee gobos are too strong. There you go. Blood Knights are very nearly dead now. Just need a smidge more. Unfortunately, we do get terror routed though. Poor Fanatics. Having a little bit of trouble. The left side flank is not going as well as I could have hoped for, but otherwise, still not too bad. I will say the Graveguard, I don't think the Graveguard have done super well for my opponent. Ooh, this is a good Fanatic angle. Get the Wog going for the leadership. Dude, these goblins, man. Dude, Fanatic goblins counter Graveguard so stupidly hard. It's insane. They do so much damage, man. I can't wait to see the value later. Kind of high APM, but in general, very good. All right, here we go. Can I use these Savage Orcs? Give them melee magic damage, so then they can shred the Karen Wraiths. Dude, this is the worst. Dude, I've never seen vampire accounts only get 87 tickets. Usually it's such a ticket race. This is just catastrophic levels of bad for the poor vampire accounts. I almost want to resummon the Fanatics. Those laughs are going to be in my dreams. Oh. Okay, he did actually break this line over here on the far side, so he may eventually get this point if I'm not careful. Overall, though, the big infantry push is going great. He doesn't go for this high ground because he knows I can summon units to defend it very easily. All right, yeah, I just got to get all the boys here. What's the 100 kills, 900 value? And it's so easy. It's so easy to get Fanatics on Undead because it just slow as butts. All right, just got to get enough fools over here. And then hopefully close out this game soon enough for me to win another one. I just gotta win this one and the next one, and then we're good. Manfred's terrified on the far side. I can rampage the guy. There we go. Right as everyone starts dying, and I just got a position to bog him down and let him never escape. We got the anti-large over here. Anti-large is perfect for good old Manny. Attaboy. And then we're gonna net him down. This is the ultimate Manfred bullying squad. All the boys want to get on to Manfred. This will open up my center position, though. A couple units will actually be able to get on the point. I don't like that very much. But maybe I can still stop the capture. I do have some cavalry over here. And it seems like he's distracted trying to keep Manfred alive. All right, it's plus 40 melee attack. Manfred is not going to like that. Poor Manny, man. Poor Manny. There we go.
Let's get him!
We're gonna buff up my Lord a bit. He's gonna have a solid 60 up to 76 melee attack while exhausted. And the vampire counts have still yet to actually secure a point. GG. Well played. Alright, well that was good. That was pretty nice. GG. Solid. Yeah, dude, we just wrecked them. This is actually an unironically pretty good build versus a green skin or versus the vampire counts. My fanatics got so much value. Yo. All right, they got a crazy amount of value. I think he was a little too passive with Manfred though. So there were a few misplays, but dang, man. Dang. Alright, so next map is Bray Valley. We gotta finish this match quickly. So we're up against Michu, who is okay, higher ranked than me. So if I win this, we actually knock him down and get a good amount of MMR. So I just gotta focus on winning this and we'll get. The first pick is vampire counts. I see. Do I go high elves and greenskins again? High elves and greenskins are not bad. I'll go corn. I'll go corn and high elves because we just played greenskins. Though that was... I almost want to play them more. Yeah, greenskins... They have a really high skill ceiling with fanatics. Okay, so it goes chaos dwarves. I guess I can just triple ban chaos dwarves. And maybe I just triple counter vampire counts. Vampire counts, chaos dwarves, and what? I will say, it is quite... It's quite difficult without my crutch, my Norskin crutch. I can't just whip out Norskin to get the free wins anymore. Disgusting, do it again. Bretonnian, huh? I see. So I got Corn, High Elves, and Lizardmen versus Vampire Counts, Chaos Dwarves, and Bretonnian. Interesting. Well, Corn versus Bretonnian is the one I want to aim for. Let's see, our vampire counts I can beat with those guys. I can fare decently in there too. Corn versus Chaos Dwarves is a weird one. I just don't know how to play that. And High Elves versus Bretonnian is terrible, so we'll ban those two. I'm trying to get myself like a Lizardmen matchup maybe. I think Lizardmen have a lot of fun stuff they can do. Basically impossible to beat someone from Rad Clan. I'm not biased at all. Love it. Greenskins are a low magic faction, right? Maybe you could have gone mass banshees. But then again, fanatics. Yeah, the fanatics weirdly counter a lot of stuff. Especially the cavalry. Dude, they destroy cavalry. Yeah, you do have to keep the fanatics safe. So you have to not engage in melee with them because they will break immediately and then you can't use the rest of their super amazing ability. Okay. He bans Bretonnian Corn, makes sense. Vampire counts High Elves, makes sense. So I can go Lizardmen. I don't want to play High Elves into Chaos Dwarves. That matchup has not changed much, but having Plague of Rust is okay. I almost want to try it. Either that or Lizardmen Vampire counts. I think both could be really fun. So let's just give them both. High Elves versus Chaos Dwarves or Lizardmen versus Vampire counts. We did test out some cool High Elf builds before. Unfortunately, he banned the Khorne matchups. Blame my opponent. We'll never get to use those Khorne halberds, man. Khorne's too strong. Nobody likes facing him. Even though I don't know how to play him. But what can you do? Can you guys, you know, give word out that I'm bad with Khorne so people don't ban them? High Elves versus Chaos Dwarves, hell yeah. So this one previously used to be a terrible matchup. The Kadai simply were way too annoying to kill. But with the new meta shifts and the new units for the High Elves, life has changed quite a bit. And I would say personally that High Elves, they do actually have some teeth in this situation. Fish build. Ocean build for the High Elves. Alright. Let's do this. I have some sick ideas, people. I have some amazing ideas. Actually executing them and getting them to work is a different thing. But trust. This'll be amazing. I just gotta kill the Kadai, is all. Just a couple Kadai. He's probably gonna main tide me. Odds of main tide are extremely high. But I am prepared. Oh, he's from Rad Clan. We got a Rad Clanner. Alright, this should be good enough. I really wonder what he's gonna do against us. Chaos Dwarves are they're a nifty faction. So they got their nasty artillery. The map's pretty good for that too. They have their bull centaurs, super annoying little guys. Flensing har maxing build. Jeez. Oh man, dude, the off meta spells. Off meta spells hurt, man. Usually you're supposed to get like 1,500 value with your magic. So if I only get 500, I lose like 1,000 gold worth of value. It's like throwing a unit of cavalry away at the very beginning. Not that I haven't done that before, but man, is it rough. All right, this should be fun though. This should be very fun. So this map, you have the high ground on deployment. So that gives you a very nice defensive position. Oh dang, there's a lot of people with high MMR. It's actually going to be quite difficult to make it. Though Michi does have a lot of MMR, so maybe I can catch up. Alright, here's the build. Alright, so hear me out. Hear me out. But triple plague of rust. Triple plague of rust and final transmutation. So I got the books, I got the staves, I have some very elite cavalry, and I'm going to loop around so that I have the high ground and then charge down on him. That way my cav can do maximum damage. Then I just use infantry to clean up. Nice and simple like. First things first though, we gotta capture a couple points. We have a magma cannon, alright. Oh, that's our infantry. We got a Zaytan the Black and some Infernal Guard Fireglaves. All quite susceptible to my cavalry. Iron Demon too. If I can reduce its armor, it goes down to 60. And with the artillery piece, I think if we just jump it, we're good. This is a lot of money we have here in cavalry. This is actually quite a stupendous amount of cavalry we have. So I gotta be very careful.
Keep it from the foe.
Just a little bit of infantry. Do I want another unit of cav though? There's a little bit of chaff infantry here that I think I can bully. Then again, Oceanids are not bad here because there's no Kadai yet. So I think we can handle that. Just slowly making our way up the hill now. I can definitely kill off the Infernal Guard Fireglaves. Only 100 armor means Plague of Rust does annihilate it. And I just gotta get that high ground advantage. It'll make all my stuff way more maneuverable. The question is, will he see the danger? Ooh, got treed. Got ruined by the trees. Very unfortunate for my opponent. I can tell they're saving up money. They haven't summoned anything yet. So I have to be at least a wee bit careful. But I think if we can get a clean enough charge here, we're set. I just want to kill off these Fireglaves is all. You can see they're being very defensive though. They very much so do not want the Fireglaves collapse in on. But collapse in on we shall do. And there we go. Very nice. He summons a little caster. Plague of Rust though. Yeah, they are hella sandwiched, man. Dude, those guys got wrecked. Okay, solid. Very solid. Well, that's one unit off the table. That's very solid, but it does not mean it is over just yet. We still have lots of maneuvering to do. Did he just... Oh my gosh, I think he killed all my cav. I think he got a big old magma spell on my face. Well, that's bad. Well, that's not good. I didn't disengage fast enough. Oh, crap. He brought in Flames of Asgore. Oh, geez. All right. It's still not over yet, though. Still ain't over yet. I just need to disengage with my lord. Oh, my gosh. Look at all the dead cav, bro. Ooh. Okay. Things were good until they became very much so not good. It's okay. I have another Plague of Rust. We can chuck on this dude. This little train over here. I do have the cav cleanup crew going pretty hard. I do have a capture point, and he summons in a Kadai, which is generally supposed to be a misplay. Generally speaking. Oh my gosh, bro, I just lost like all my Dragon Princes. I have one left though. I do have one Dragon Prince left. The comebacks are real. Whoop. Just gonna avoid that dude. I just gotta group up my casters again. And then I just gotta secure these points and play the long con. If I can do that, we'll be okay. It's okay. We're stabilizing. We're stabilizing. Everything's fine. Ain't no problem. Oceanids against the Kadai. Kind of unfortunate. But yeah, it's still not doing too bad. I might even be able to kill the magma cannon if I'm lucky here. I just gotta make sure I don't get hit by another one of those spells, man. One more of those and I'm a dead man. So far so good though. Gotta keep chasing. They're hiding in the trees. I will be able to kill that though. And okay, are we gonna see a big old misplay with the Lord? With the caster maybe? Oh, we might. Hey, there we go. All right, nice. So that's going to stop the caster in their tracks. And we're just gonna see that this time. We're gonna use our eyeballs. We're gonna use that to avoid the death. Huzzah. All right, we did not fall for the bait. Hell yeah. Okay, that's actually very good. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you, good sir. That's the other way around. Whatever. Plague of Rust, unfortunately, not doing much. Though I do have a triple cap. That's nice. And we do still have all of our casters and a whack load of magic. So, it ain't the end of the world. And of course, dodging that spell was very good for us. I can start working Zaytan too. And the Oceanids will die, but not before they hold for a rather extraordinary amount of time. So, not the worst so far. That's a decent final transmutation, I say. And we're gonna have more cav. I just gotta recuperate the cavalry. Let's see if we can get a sick charge on this train too. Trains without armor should be pretty killable, but we'll see. Oh, I can use my heroes here to stop them from capturing this. And indeed, the train does take a decent amount of damage. Nothing crazy though. I think it's time we get some infantry here. Yeah, you ain't capturing this. The triple hero squad is actually really good for that. Very nice. Okay, I just have to be wary of this little flying lord. If I can just not die to him, I'm happy. We're just gonna, yeah, keep stalling here forever. Then I'm going to maybe get a sick play on these Kadai here. They are rather exposed. Oh crap, I'm out of range. Okay, so he is going to get this point. But I should be able to kill these Kadai. They're very, very exposed. There we go. There's a Plague of Rust. Yeah, 18 armor is basically nothing, man. So that should be able to kill him quite fast. Then we just continue to run away. Like so. Yep, just keep running. There you go. It's gonna work him pretty hard. What the? Okay, I don't know what's happening over here, but I'm sure it's fine. And then once the Kadai are dead, then I can pull away again and save up for the next Plague of Rust. Then I can use my infantry here to do the rest. Magic-wise, we're doing pretty good, actually. So that's always nice to see. Another Kadai is over in the distance. I think we're actually doing not bad here. I've certainly have had worse games. Let's get another Plague of Rust. Overcast. Gotta really bully that train. And then I'll just ignore these Kadai. I don't know what this infantry unit's doing, though. Okay, there we go. Crap. Well, that's a little unfortunate. They managed to steal a point. That's gonna ruin my time pressure here just a little bit. But if I can kill off a couple free units, it's not the end of the world. Unfortunately, I am losing quite a bit of mobility here. But this is a nice little pocket we can kind of get the squeeze on. But they will be able to double cap me now. A little bit unfortunate. Thankfully, I do still have my casters. I almost want to de-summon her, but I think I'll keep her for now. And then hopefully we can deal with the Infinitrains. What is this? Chaos Dwarf Warriors? Oof. Not perfect. Honestly, if I had all those Dragon Princes from the early game, it'd be better. And I will say these trains are much more annoying to kill than I thought they would be. Significantly more annoying. Even with the Plague of Rust, they just don't really get hit by my cavalry very much. And that's causing me many an issue. We're gonna Plague of Rust it again, though. Get another charge on his face. Gonna keep an eye out for any spell casting that he might have. Dude, train won't die, man. Train simply will not die. Even with the Plague of Rust, it's just holding forever, bro. A little rough. There is another Kadai here, too. And we are gonna have to disengage once again. Yeah, dude, trains are butts to deal with without guns. I ain't got no guns. And we were definitely suffering the consequences. But I should be able to kind of wheel around and steal point number 2. My opponent should not be able to get this point, not with my cavalry on it. And then if we just kind of dogpile this, I think we'll be okay. Point steal will be good, and he summons another unit of Kadai, which is a misplay, because then the Plague of Rust can actually get its work done. Exposed Kadai are perfect for us. Just have a couple boys over there. I'm probably gonna have to focus the Kadai first with the cavalry, and then we go to the middle. And I'll just save up for Dragon Princes. Very pitched battle. I think if he gets a little more aggressive with this guy, I could get real screwed here. He keeps going for that Lord Snipe. Okay, but we are going to be able to stay alive, thank goodness. There's the Dragon Princes. I still have a ticket lead, mind you. And as always, we can turn a ticket lead into a value lead, given enough time. I think that's just kind of the big thing. And Chaos Dwarf units are so hard to hit though, aren't they? Alright, so we do get the point. And he senses the threat. He doesn't want to take the fight. So that's actually quite good for us. Now all we gotta do is bully Zaytan. Alright, get a big spell cast over there. Hopefully she doesn't overcast or miscast or what have you. There you go. We're gonna save her. I'm gonna try killing off this caster. Okay. The damage is okay. Damage is alright. Zaytan damage is also not bad. Dude, oh my gosh, they have so much mass. I feel like my cavalry aren't doing any damage. Finally, a little bit of a hit though. Okay, but we're gonna need to kill these guys next. These could die. And the real problem. Okay, let's get another silver helm. Okay, this is gonna have to be an uphill charge. That's not perfect, but it'll have to do. Dang, there's a miscast, but I do get a nice Plague of Rust. And it will last long enough for me to kill him. Really scrapping this one out. Okay, there we go. Nice, nice. Okay, that's actually a really good charge. Okay. And then you, lady, are gonna debuff those Kadai. Alright. Thankfully, no miscasts. I am almost out of magic, though. But we did kill off the Kadai. And he's summoning in more guns, which should not be super great at actually capturing. So hopefully this goes well. Over yonder, the Kadai are slowly dying. I did get netted, though. And I think he's chucking out another giant spell. All right. All right, all right. Well, hopefully I can still steal this point with my little hero squad. This is what they were made to do. Yep, there's a big spell cast. It does friendly fire a lot of his dudes, though, so I should be able to survive that. And I just want to stop the guns from shooting for a hot second. If I can do that, I'm happy. Okay, caster's distracted. Just make sure he doesn't kill the Lord. There we go. Just have to do the little zoomies. There you go. She's dancing. Oh, she's dancing real hard. Yeesh. Oh. I was talking about his Lord being hard to hit. Look at her. Jumping around like no one's business. Okay. So that will net me a little bit of a play over there. And then we're just going to run away and we're going to start harassing this next point. Not bad. This is becoming a game where we just have to hold for the tickets. If we can do that, perhaps we have a chance. One lady bites the dust though, and they do get routed. I should be able to defend this point with just the infantry. So if my opponent misplays that hard enough, we're actually still in the clear. A couple of the guns are occupied too, and I actually have some reserve units here that I forgot about. But alright, if I can put enough pressure on this point and they can't retake the middle, then we might actually have a little bit of a chance. It's gonna be nasty. I'm gonna have to rear charge this infantry. But a chance is very possible here. I just need to hold that middle point. Just gotta hold it. We gotta break these guys. Oh, thank goodness for the spare infantry, man. Spare infantry are cooking super hard. Come on, just don't let them capture. Even with the few units here, it should not be... They should not have enough capture weight. This far side, definitely not. They chuck a giant spell, but that's just going to clear both sides. And we are slowly getting this one. Unfortunately, though, this middle point looks like it is super close to being taken. If any of my cavalry routes, then... Yeah, they're going to get that one. So now I have to make a decision. Now I have to make a decision. I think we have to give up on the middle point. And instead, I have to go defend this one. Wait, I went on a 1 cap though. Hold up. That's pretty good. Unfortunately, my lord is running for the hills.
Setting forth.
Oh my gosh. What is this lady doing, man? What'd you move?
I go then.
Okay, there we go.
At once.
She gets a moving. Okay. Oh crap, there's another Kadai, bro. I might win on a 1 cap, but if I can't actually get the 1 cap, we're screwed. Oh, crap. Crap. Okay, my cavalry's gonna get here in time, but that's only cavalry capture weight extra that I have. Dude, if my lord didn't route... Oh, this is gonna be nasty. This is gonna be real nasty then. Well, I gotta pull out all the stops. I gotta hold this point. Freaking train, man. Dude, this train. I can't kill it. No. Oh my gosh. Okay, she rallies at least. But I don't think I win on a 1 cap anymore. Dude, this is train. Get out of my face. Oh, crap. Okay, I can kill the Kadai, though, with the Plague of Rust, maybe? Plague of Rust and the charge. Dude, this train, I haven't been able to kill it with Plague of Rust all game. It has so much value over me. It's so bad. Oh, crap. Dude, I'm barely gonna lose. Dang, man. Oh, this was a crazy match, though. Yeah, I'm gonna get the point, but now my opponent has too many tickets. Crap, bro. Dude, this thing got 3k. I can see why people hate the trains. Oh, man. I needed like an Eltharion or something, or like a net to pin it down. Well played, Michu. Well played. It's a fun build, though. I think it almost works well. But my early misplay at the very beginning kind of set me up for failure. As annoying as the trains were, if I just didn't lose all my cavalry at the beginning, we would have been fine. There's no way I capture a point in 50 seconds. GG, well played. Dang, man. Oh, we got choo-chooed. GG, well played. Woo. Spooky matchup. Very spooky matchup. Michu did well, though. Oh, man. I really needed, like, a boss single entity. Dude, this first Dragon Princess got so wrecked. This one got 4k value. That's insane. The Plague of Rust spam was really cool. But at the end of the day, the map was also not super advantage for me. I only had 2 Kadai. Dude, that was so winnable. That was so winnable, man. Such is life, though. Such is life. Well, time to move on to the top 4. Top 4 is decided. With that game done, I don't think anyone else is going to be able to make it. Maybe B6, actually. No. No, everyone has too much MMR. All right, so what we got? Attack speed versus Suramiz. Okay. So let's see here. What's it gonna be? It's Suramiz at Suramiz versus at attack speed. And it's going to be Berserk versus Michael. At Berserk versus at Michu. All right. And let's go ahead and grab the maps for our players. Left side is top bracket. Spec slot, please. Dang, man. Yeah, the 3k train value. That was just a knowledge gap, though. So it was one misplay and one knowledge gap that kind of screwed me over. We just kind of learned that the cavalry can't hit the trains. And even if they do, it's still a little too chunky. Probably the 60 armor is just a bit much. Yeah, 3 mages for the mana reserve so I can spam the magic. I also wasted a final transmutation on Zaytan without killing him. But yeah, the cavalry alone can't kill the SEs. You really need like a heavy hitter, you know. It's got to be like an Eltharion or something. Honestly, Eltharion and double double metal mage is probably enough to get a lot of work done. I also didn't get the Fireborn because I thought I had enough rust, but that was a bit of a misplay. It's good to know. We're kind of feeling out the limits of the cav. The silver helms that face forward suck. The only difference is they have less melee defense. Technically their damage is the same and they don't have shields. So I wouldn't say they're terrible. But yeah, that's obviously a very tough matchup for High Elves too. Oh, whoops. Oh my gosh, I hate how the spectating system works in this game. Alright, there we go. I should report that as a bug. Unable to spectate through lobby code. Using lobby code will... Oh, admin. Man, does everyone have announcement tournament on mute? I swear. I don't know why, but it seems like people just keep missing the message when I tell them the top 4. I don't know what's going on. Using lobby code will not allow. Join as spectator. There is no password to the lobby. You have to... what's it? You have to join by finding the game manually. Very annoying. I don't need to say it's very annoying. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's see it. It's only 100 gold more. Yeah, 100 gold more for the silver shielded higher melee defense silver helms is pretty nice. But then what do you run instead? Do you run Illyrian Reavers maybe? Yeah, Z10 net plus the flames. But I did blob 3 units of cavalry. That was the big oopsie doopses. You know, alternatively, I could have gone Archer Max and used a Techless Net plus Plague of Rust. Ah, dang, man. Dang. I should have countered, actually, no. I kind of left myself open to be countered, unfortunately. Them chaos dwarves. What a menace. Alright, so we're just waiting on the match to begin. Should be soon enough. I don't know where his opponent is. When we double check that we got everything correct. Yeah, everything looks right. Might work better if people didn't know that was your high elf go-to playstyle. I don't think he was countering it though. The fact that he had a magma cannon means that, like, if you wanted to counter, if you knew I was going cav max, bringing a magma cannon would be an insane idea. You do not bring a magma cannon there. All right, so I'm gonna message attack speed enjoyer. Still army building. The other side isn't. Alright, we'll see if we can cast the other side. Attack speed enjoyers in top 4, that's pretty fun. Caught any of Terran's modded tournaments? Unfortunately not. Still been a little busy. Okay, nice. We're gonna spectate attack speed enjoyers lobby instead. Okay, nice. They should be starting soon. And what we got? Vampire Coast versus Slaanesh? Ooh, okay. This one's pretty fun. If it's on Brave Alley, though, I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's good or not. Magma Cannon fair, but the rest of the build is not very typical versus High Elves. Really? Zaytan less so. The Flames of Asgore, I don't know. The Kadai is very normal. The guns aren't usually that good versus the cavalry. I kind of just misplayed the cavalry. I would say from a vibe standpoint, I do not think that build counters my build in any way. I will let you know, I lost 2,500 gold of cavalry at the very beginning, okay? Like, if your build, if it's close after you get a 2,500 gold lead, there's no way that's a proper counter build. The only thing I could maybe say is the Flames of Asgore plus the net is good for defending versus cavalry rushes, but only one cav unit. It's not even like an AoE. I guess the Searing Doom kind of. The Searing Dooms didn't really land super hard though. Oh no, he didn't have Searing Doom. That was the game before. Yeah, I don't think so. I doubt it. Yeah, no, I like mega blobbed on the flame cannon, and then I didn't check the spell that he brought in with his caster, and I didn't see the indicator, so I lost like all my cavalry at the beginning. Still kind of a close game though, which I can be happy about. Definitely not like a Punisher high elf build. I do think probably, I think the mass archer with Plague of Rust and net might be the way to go with Techless. I still haven't tried that. Usually I do the Cav max Plague of Rust, but the archer max Plague of Rust can be really fun. All right, we're gonna get to enjoy this little match here. Attacks, oh no, Sir Miz. We'll call him Sir Miz. They've gone for animated Hulks. Very unusual. Couple depth guard. We got 3 of them. Silostra, very normal. Denizens of the Deep is quite popular with her, but usually Ghosts of the Past and Tidecall are the ones you always see. And on the Slaaneshi side, very boring build. Lots of Chaos Warriors. I'm not a big fan of that. I also don't like the Olores, but this is attack speed enjoyer, so surely they have something cooked up. Pit of Shades. Fiends of Slaanesh. That's basically it. On the far side, they just slam down some Marauders. But overall, both sides, yeah, they kind of normal looking builds. Nothing too crazy. Mask is kind of fun though. Of course, when you bring the mask, you're usually worried about them getting sniped. But Vampire Coast is not exactly a Lord Snipe faction. They're actually quite bad at it. The only issue is whether or not the mask can find good targets. Maybe she kills Silostra. But Silostra actually doesn't care about dying that much, because just resummon her and you get another free cav summon. And this cavalry summon can pay off the entire cost of Silostra. She, you know, if you keep her cheap, in this case she probably costs about 1,000. Well, that means Silostra is going to... It's going to be a little expensive. It's going to be a little expensive. But the knights can get like 800 value, and if Silostra gets 200 gold with just normal attacking, she's kind of fine. And the match begins. So we'll see how this goes. Obviously, the Vampire Coast Army is much larger. A little bit of lag. Hopefully, it doesn't stick around. But yeah, the Coast Army's quite a bit bigger. Come on, netcode, hold. Hold. Oh, not like this, man. Not like this, broski. After all that, okay, it's chugging. Dude, this is the second time in the top 4, top 1 that we've had the lag. Oh my gosh, this is brutal, man. This is brutal. Oh, mask is coming on in. I'll stick around for a couple of minutes, but if it stays this way... Oh man, if it stays this way, we might need to dip. Getting ads every 5 to 7 minutes. Oh yeah, I think there's ways I can work around it if I manually do ads in between games. If you guys want me to do that, I can start managing it. But yeah, basically between matches we just pop an ad and then that stops it from going on later. I think it's stabilizing though, thank goodness. So the Slaanesh forces move up. Obviously they do not have the capture weight, and Vampire Coast is good versus Slaanesh. They do have depth guard, and these guys are perfect versus the infantry. The only thing that they really got to worry about is the mask. They are using the Chanson of Caging, and that's going to reduce their vigor. And depth guard without vigor is kind of sucky, so I think if played correctly, attack speed and Jorah could work these guys down pretty hard. Already quite eager to get that vigor reduction going. And there we go. A little bit of a debuff already. The slowed, debuffed. They got to split up to avoid that. It's kind of crazy that this works even when you're not in melee. I would say if they wanted to rebalance the mask, making it where you have to be in melee for this to trigger is good. But yeah, this one depth guard's being bullied. Massive vigor reduction already. That's just a permanent loss of speed. But the battle is about to begin. And if the fight goes well enough for Coast, it's going to be bad for attack speed. The mask alone cannot deal with this many zombies. And a unit of Marauders is already biting the dust. Silostra with the sick tide call. Doing pretty good. She is a dancing queen, yeah. Although, you can keep it strong. Just make sure the mask is expensive enough. I will say, though, it's not the end of the world for Coast to have their vigor reduced. They don't care about the leadership loss from vigor as much because they're undead, of course. So I would say Vampire Coast is still in a very comfortable position. Value trading wise, things are very close to. But will the Pleasure Seekers be able to do anything? So attack speed and Jorah saved up for one of the most expensive units of cavalry in the game. Slaaneshi Pleasure Seekers. And he's just going to be sending them into combat. Now they are very good for their heal in combat, as long as units are routing nearby. And the animated Hulks, probably one of the weaker points of the Vampire Coast build. They're going to be crumbling away and healing up the Pleasure Seekers. So maybe they just go for a big blob fight. Coast is still holding very strong, though. There is an endless tide of zombies at the ready. And many more dogs, too. Though I do kind of wonder what the dogs are going to do. What the dog do? Well, it's going to be a little bit of a charge on the Fiends. Full surround, actually, with the triple dogs. And Fiends have surprisingly low melee stats. They actually rely a lot on their soporific musk to debuff, but with the charge bonus, dogs actually landed quite a few hits. As it stands, I'd say things are a little sketchy for attack speed and Jorah. This is a lot of dudes. This is a lot of dudes. The mask has debuffed their stats quite a bit, though. Look at that. Absolutely debilitated. Minus 22 armor. Wowza. That's a crazy debuff. And that's going to hurt their leadership too, right? Minus 6 leadership. Just from dancing. I will say, as someone who has done dance before, it is quite tiring. Hit a Shades drops on some Depth Guard and Pole Arms. That's quite value. But is it enough? I think it really depends on how this grind actually goes down. Pleasure Seekers are still doing really well, but very important to note, we haven't seen the Cav summon yet. And the cavalry do magic damage. If Slaanesh can just get a big summon and charge into the Pleasure Seekers, the Vampire Coast could potentially get almost 2,000 gold worth of value. Yeah, we did do dancing back in the day. It was fun. It was swing. It was a very good time. But yeah, there we go. Here comes... No! It's erotic Prometheans. Okay. So no Cav summon just yet. Slaanesh being quite stingy. Quite stingy with her abilities, actually. Slaanesh is leading, though, now, which does make me a little worried. Is this... Okay, there we go. Finally, Knights Errant do get summoned. Will they be able to run them down, though? Unfortunately, it's kind of janky, their positioning. Now, these are magic damage, full AP Knights, so they do 100% damage to everything they contact. It can be demons, it can be armor, they don't care. And they have a charge bonus of 55. Quite amazing. And already you can see those Pleasure Seekers are not very happy about the situation. Not only that, but maybe they kill off the Olores. But the Vampire Coast Zombie Tide has been worn down quite a bit. There are still a lot of Chaos Warriors too, making things a little sketchy. Vampire Coast does have a minor ticket lead though, and oof, there we go. Pleasure Seekers are now being completely run down. Ain't no escape from these guys. And that's the power of Slaanesh. She has a summon that can just get you infinite value. Alright, Pleasure Seekers cost 1,800. Just her summon alone got her 634 value. Actually kind of insane. You thought the mask was good? Slaanesh, she's hitting back quite hard too. The mask themselves quite tired, also exhausted from the dancing. Love to see it. And Vampire Coast may very well bounce back. This Cav summon is just killing it, aren't they? 800 value already. And the Slaaneshi force is actually summoning some Pleasure Guard. Look at these snake people. So these are exalted champions that are kind of half demonic snakes. Very high damage, unbreakable, but basically no capture weight. They have 3 capture weight, and if they can't clear zombies fast enough, it's gonna be a little nasty. I'm gonna see a hold here on this point too. Holy smokeroos, Vampire Coast does it. Now they do send in a dog to their deaths against the Hellstriders, but with some zombie halberds and a second wave of dogs, they can turn this into at least an even trade. Maybe even a positive trade if they're lucky. But very likely, I think this dog will die and the Hellstrider will die. Looks like Fellbat's also taking quite a bit of damage. Not too pleasant. But the point is held, which is the most important thing for Vampire Coast. Over on the far side, Slaanesh is dying though. And with the armies kind of getting slimmed down, you usually don't want Slaanesh to die. She does much better when the armies are kind of large, where you can safely resummon her and still have enough capture weight to win. But there you go. Slaanesh bites the dust. She falls and sinks into the ground. Nope, just disappears in a puff of smoke. Did you guys know that sirens don't disappear? They actually just sink into the ground, and if you clip through the ground, you can see their models. It's quite strange. But yeah, I think at this point, Slaanesh is just up trading a bit too hard. Vampire Coast kind of just took the straight up fight with the mask, and all their units got tired and died. Not exactly the best situation. They also, yeah, were not able to keep their depth guard alive for a very long time, so that's going to be the victory for attack speed. GG. Very nice. If sirens die on a castle wall and then the wall breaks, you get to see a bunch of floating siren corpses. Yeah. Apparently not with Slaanesh though. But yeah. That was pretty nasty. That was pretty nasty. I think attack speed Enjoyer did not have the build to beat this. This was very sketchy. But they pulled it back by getting that brutal annihilation of the depth guard. They were basically undefended. And actually a very surprisingly low number of pistol mobs. Usually these guys are really good versus Slaanesh. They can shoot up a lot of the low armored cavalry. Felbats also didn't do really well. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of this build. Depth Guard were pretty cool. Maybe a bit of an overcommit to them, though. And on a personal note, I'm not a big fan of the Hulks. But maybe it was to deal with a different Slaanesh playstyle. Hulks might even be good against Slaangors, but I kind of doubt it. I do know they're very bad versus the Hellstriders. But yeah, I think these attack speed and joy basically played to their outs. They basically played to their outs. Got the major threat out of the way, and from there, their warriors just absolutely cooked. All right. Well, that's attack speed enjoyer in the grand finals. And now we wait. Now we wait for the other side to finish. Fingers crossed they do so soon. So attack speed enjoyer, let me see. Attack speed locked in Slaanesh. They just locked them in. And they'll be facing either Berserk or Michael, who will be counterpicking Slaanesh. Excuse me. Interesting, interesting. Okay, attack speed enjoyer made another lobby. Which one is their lobby? This should be it. No, dang it. Attack speed is your favorite. You love his builds. They are quite different from how I play. They tend to be a little bit more infantry focused. A little bit more infantry focused and less about mobility. Oh my gosh, I joined the wrong lobby again. Bro. Alright. And it's going to be Slaanesh versus the unknown. I think odds are most likely. I think Berserk is probably the slightly better player than Michael. But Michael is pretty scary. If I had to guess, though, I think Berserk will make it. And then they'll have to figure out some sort of way to beat the Slaanesh. Summoning Bretonnian knights in this economy. Best you can do is crabs for now. I wonder... Do you guys like the crab summon? Do you guys think Rotting Promethean summon is good and worth it? I feel like you can get most of your magic out by spamming Tide Call anyways. And it makes Silostra harder to resummon. So, if you bring Silostra in 2 times, you're spending 400 extra gold. Would you really want to spend... Like, let's say Silostra dies and you resummon her. That happens a lot. Would you spend 400 gold for the ability to use the Rotting Promethean summon? Because it's not even free, it uses your magic. What are you holding against too, right? I guess they do a bit of damage. But is it better than the Tide Call? I think Tide Call just does so much more. Yeah, what's it, like 12 wins of magic? A little pricey. Though, not the end of the world. But, like, I don't know if it gives you enough of a benefit. Slaanesh bad matchups? Ooh, we got a couple. On a map like the Blood Grove, Slaanesh has a hard time versus... They generally have a hard time versus boxes. So, against Wood Elves? Like... high damage boxes with decent range. So like Wood Elves can kind of do it. Weirdly enough, Empire can get some work done versus Slaanesh. There's let's see here, what else is there? There's Vampire Coast. Like, I think Vampire Coast, Wood Elves, and what's it? Coast, Wood Elves, and Empire. Those are all a little nasty versus Slaanesh, but you kind of have to play a very specific way. If you play a normal build into Slaanesh, it's not nearly as good. Lizardmen ain't super great versus Slaanesh, but some players have figured out builds that can tussle. So I would say, at best, if you have the right build, you're kind of hitting even. Like, you basically go for like a Sacred Croxagore box. You can use Ripperdactyls for Furies. And you can use Shem's Burning Gaze to kill Forsaken. That's a very fun tech. But, yeah. Not a whole lot. I'd say in general... Let's see here. I'm sure there's another faction though, right? I'm sure there's another faction. Let me check. Oh yes, Bretonia. Bretonia is pretty good. But if you go for that crazy SE build, Slaanesh can make Bretonia weep. As long as they have access to the mask. Without access to the mask, Bretonia can be very annoying versus Slaanesh, but you still have to play a very tight Bretonia. Some people say Tomb Kings are not bad versus Slaanesh because their infantry is quite hardy. So it's much more difficult to farm your passive. But yeah, in general, it's not looking super good for many factions, but 3 counterpicks is kind of good enough. Generally speaking, the person that only goes for one faction, they can be counterpicked quite hard. Also, I think Terran's hosting a tournament later today, right? Let me check. Terran's hosting a super late tournament. 9 p.m. What a guy. Jeez Louise, man. Thursday Night Throwdown, Swiss SFT. I almost want to play it, but I have other stuff I gotta do. I got so much other stuff. Alright. You double spider black orc build from Slaanesh. Oh yeah, I've run into that before. That one's really annoying. You kind of need a big map to deal with that. If the capture points are too close, it can be really hard to deal with it. The Slaaneshi Marauder Horsemen aren't perfect for that situation. Far from it. He's on that late night cycle lately, Turin. Such is life, I guess. At least it's it doesn't overlap with my tournaments. His tournaments end like 12 hours later than mine start. It's crazy. I could play it though if I really wanted to. It's just, man, there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff. I'm still doing move out stuff. Can you guys believe it? I never realized that I had so much garbage in my apartment. Until you start moving out. You start finding stuff that you put away like years ago. You're finally unearthing it like it's an ancient artifact. Definitely in the new place, I'll have to be a bit more organized, I think. Just a wee bit. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. Yo, I guess the other match is going on for a little while, isn't it? Berserk versus Michu. Hopefully they show up soon. That'd be really nice. Berserk should play Nurgle versus Slaanesh. Or, you know, even better, they should play Khorne versus Slaanesh. That's like such an old school matchup. I don't remember the last time I saw a Khorne versus Slaanesh game. It's actually been forever, man. Like nobody plays that anymore. Like obviously Slaanesh is stronger. You guys think Khorne can win it though? Any Khorne enjoyers in chat that are able to win it? You think Wrathmongers do anything? My only use F tier spells is one of your favorite streams. Oh, thank you. I'm happy to hear, man. Honestly, yesterday I was kind of tired and hungry. So I felt like it wasn't a great stream, but I'm happy you like the concept. I would like to do more stuff like that in the future. Ooh, armor maxing? Against Slaanesh? You crazy, man. Slaanesh is like the de facto armor piercing faction. You like do not want a armor max. It's nice sprinkling in a bit of armor though, because sometimes they just spam Slaangors and Forsaken, and then you're good. Alrighty. Well, yeah, I think I'm kind of just waiting for End Times DLC to come out. That, and then we gotta finish the video. It's taken ages. I'm working super hard on it though, so fingers crossed it does well. Attack speed enjoyers, the GOAT. I do like watching their matches. There's a reason why I was okay switching to their side of the bracket. They got some pretty nifty strats. They do really like the Chaos Warriors of Slaanesh, which I just cannot get behind. I hate using those Chaos Warriors, but we'll see. 8 months? Dude, the End Times? Oh, boy. Yeah, I kind of wonder. When is the Warhammer 3 End Times DLC coming out? Try to predict. I kind of wonder. I want to see what AI thinks. Summer of 2026. Okay, so, wait. If they actually said summer of 2026, did they confirm it for that? ChatGPT says it's confirmed for summer of 2026. Games radar. Everything announced at the Total War 25th anniversary. Oh, so that means it's gotta be soon, right? Summer is like 4 months away. Give it 4 months. Honestly, 4 months would still feel kind of long. I hate the 6-month DLC cycle. You'd be shocked if it was before October. Okay, so they did announce that it was summer of 2026, but that was during the 25th anniversary. So that was in December. Things change, man. You can't trust them. They're gonna shift the day around. It's gonna get delayed. That's just what happens. Australian summer. Let's see here. You know what? I'm gonna trust AI. I never trust AI for other stuff like this, but this one time, it's given me the hope. It's giving me some hard copium right now. All right, 4 months away. Perfect. 4 months is likely the soonest. Stop ruining my dreams, chat. You remember when they would like start teasing DLCs like a month or two before? They don't do that anymore, do they? So the 3 metal casters get a L'Ariel and 2 metal casters. That's just value, debuff, and heal. Yeah, I think the 3rd metal caster is way too excessive in that build. It should be a L'Ariel or Eltharion. They're just so cost efficient. No BM. Come on, it's right over the horizon, man. I really gotta stop tying my career to one company. Very difficult thing to do as a YouTuber. You can't just play multiple games and expect it to work. At some point, we will make the transition. Back to the Bretonnian game, not enough Pegasus Knights, and you should go all in on the heavy cav. Yeah. The Grail Guardians seem to do so much better, and they have AP for the dudes, for the Fimir. Then you just heal them up, right? You just they Buna them, you overcast regrowth, you laugh in their face. Because what, they're gonna get like 4 Bunas. You get way more regrowths. Yeah, way more regrowths, man. Easiest game of your life. This is why we play these factions out, because I do want to get some practice with them. It's always nice to kind of, you know, hit multiple factions, kind of know how to play everything. That way, if a faction does become meta, we can pretty easily adopt it. That's kind of how I roll with tournaments. Okay, these guys are taking ages, man. They're taking ages. Royal Pegasus Knights beat Fimir? Dang, okay. Companions are better than Guardians into Norska too? Really? Oh, dang, yo, that's some crazy tech. Should I use Grail Knights? Do you like Grail Knights here? Are we just kind of DPS maxing? That's what the Royal Pegasus pick is telling me to do. But yeah, I guess being able to get that rear charge is super important, yeah. Royal Pegs are way better than regular. Cost effective, you tested? Huh. Royal Pegasus and Grail Knights on Pegasus. Oh, Royal Pegasus are Grail Knights on Pegasus, yeah. You can, but I don't have the funds usually. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I'll try it out. The game was close enough where just some slight build modifications will set us right. Turin uploaded a Bretonnia versus Norska game. Oh yeah, I think someone mentioned that. I think I have a rough idea of what I need to do. Here, I'll open it up while we wait. Let's take a look. It's so bright. Let's see here. Turin. Was this the recent upload? Videos. Where is it at? Bretonnia versus Norska. Okay. Let's take a look. How big was the map? Oh, this was on Borderlow. Borderlow Landing. Oh, okay. Oh, and you took Mini Alberic. Interesting. I see. Okay, yeah, so you kind of just have your little hit squad. You got your Pegasus hit squad. I see. Oh, it also lets you do backfield play. I see. I see. Okay. All right. I like it. I dig it. Huh. That's nifty. Are 3 eagles and a metal caster good for sniping? As eagles lack AP? Not really. In the same way that, like, a manticore is not the greatest at sniping. Like, just because you have 2 manticores, even if you remove the rampage, right? Are they good at sniping? If you have 2 paladins with anti-large, are they good at sniping? The answer is no, because the mass on units is so important. If they can't actually get to the targets that they want to fight, it can be very tricky to get a proper snipe on. And Plague of Rust only elevates them to that level. Now, if Eagles had Chimera stats and animations and mass, then yes. You know, if they were Chimeras without AP, give me that. But no, they're just Manticores without AP. Yeah, I know. We used to look down on Alberic all the time. Alberic really came back in full force. Used to be Lewin and the Fey Enchantress. Fey Enchantress got sidelined by the Alberic buffs. Cool to see. Credit to Kaiser Wilhelm though, he convinced me of the build. Huh. Yeah, I'll have to give it a go. Man. I always get the temptation to just full grind Warhammer and just be the best of the best. Be the top player. By such a large margin that no one can catch up. I want to so bad, but... Oh, hey, we have attack speed enjoyer in chat. Yeah, we're still waiting on the other match to finish. I let them know to message me when they're done. But yeah, I want to so bad, but like, it's just too much, man. I basically have to dedicate myself to it. The thing is, if I actually wanted to do it, I wouldn't be able to stream. You've done it before, you can do it again. Like, you know, like if I just cut streaming and just dedicated myself fully, you know, we could get pretty insanely good. But like, just worrying about the stream alone is already a bit much. Now, I could still stream. Let's say I still streamed. And then in my free time, I'm like hitting up people to practice with. But I've already won 2 champions. There's not much more to do other than just staying at the top. I need to pull a grubby, you know? I gotta detach myself and just have fun playing. I think that's healthier. Attack speed enjoyers' names got that aura. Yeah, but they don't even use... They don't play fast units, nor do they use units with fast attack speed. You know, if they were playing like only dual weapon dudes, no great weapons, high mobility... Alright, it'd be much more fitting. But, what can you do? You know, at least we still have the name. That's why we love them. Maybe it's the conflict between player and name that does it. Anyways, your opponent's on your way, attack speed. Enjoy, it's Berserk. Another top tier player. Oh, used to play AD carry in League. Ah, well, that makes a lot more sense. Yo, if you use Barona's Time Warp, come on, it'd be sick. Yo, I used to play Zerath in League of Legends. I played Zerath before his rework. That's how old school I was. Because I played League when I was in high school. I played League when, what was it? You know that You know that dashy guy that makes a wind wall that blocks projectiles? He's like blue or whatever. I was playing when he came out. Oh my goodness, those are the good old days. Man, did I main mid lane. That's all I did. Yasuo, there you go, yeah. Oh man, Yasuo was fun though. I did try him a little bit. Alright, here we go. The matchup begins. Slaanesh, and what shall they be facing? I would love to see Berserk's best against the forces of Slaanesh. You were a Rise enjoyer back in the day. I don't remember who that was. I remember the meta when it was Annie. A lot of Annies back in the day. And Luxes. So many Luxes, man. Dude, oh my gosh. It was like Lux 24/7. Get the super low cooldown, clear the lane instantly with their ult on 20 seconds. Jeez Louise. Super fun to fight though, because they were always glass cannons. So just stun them. Just stun them, nuke them. Easy win. They don't have mobility. If I know correctly from what I've seen online, new League of Legends, all these new champions tend to have crazy abilities and mobility. The simpler times, man. The simpler times. But yeah, it was always a fun duel. It was very fun back and forth. Old school? Nope, just old dude. Welcome aboard. Huzzah! I always wanted to be an old man. I'm happy to finally be here. I can do all the old people things, like reminiscing, playing chess at the park, telling kids to get off my lawn. AP Teemo, oh my gosh, top lane Teemo. I played Garen a lot. Teemo was such a pain in the butt. Dude, the guy's so annoying, man. For those of you that haven't played League, he's just a little tiny dude that just places landmines everywhere. Shoots you with poison. Imagine playing Wood Elves, but while you're kiting, you can put down invisible bloated corpses. And while you're kiting your opponent, they're just desperately rushing into you, and the bloat just explodes. And then it slows them down too, and poisons them. It's the worst. You give Skaven something anywhere close to that, Skaven becomes OP. His job is to be annoying. I know. Man, were they good at that job. How did you come up with your name, Anticity? I just kind of came up with it. Back when I got StarCraft 1 and was playing StarCraft 1, I went by the alias Melmo. Eventually I decided I had enough of that, and we went for Anticity instead. But yeah, I just kind of made it up. I think and Melmo came up because that was a nickname that my older sister gave me when I was a kid. Except not quite Melmo. So she called me Elmo. And then yeah, like the little red guy. She called me Elmo. And then I was like, all right, my alias, I'm gonna change it up a bit. Be cool. This is me in like, you know, like 10 years old. And like, I'll put an M. I'll put an M in front of it. That'll be sick. But yeah, Anticity worked out. I think I switched to that when I went over to StarCraft 2, probably. I think when StarCraft 2 came out, when I was playing League, it was Anticity. Oh, man. Malmo? Yeah, no, Melmo. With an E. It was great. Are we gonna see greenskins? Yo, Meaty Dangler. Are we gonna see the double Ragnarok Black Orc build? That would be sick. If Attack Speed Enjoyer goes for Chaos Warriors into that, I think he's dead. Chaos Warriors in no way can beat the Ragnarok build. You need the heavy cav. You need some crazy hitters. There's there's a lot of ways that you can lose. Tons of pitfalls. Like if you take Furies and rush them into Black Orcs, they just don't die. You kind of have to play that more mobile kitey game. You gotta use your rampages effectively to pull them apart. And you gotta deny them the reinforcements. If you can do that, you're okay, but this map has really close reinforcements, so maybe the greenskins build up. Let's see, what other options are there? I guess there's the new devotees of Slaanesh, so you can use those to kind of shoot them, but they don't have the same AP that Dark Elves have. So they kind of suck. Honestly, Slaaneshi ranged, it's pretty bad. You almost don't even want to use them in situations where you want to use them. Though I will say devotees of Slaanesh are surprisingly good in melee. They're more of a melee unit than a ranged unit. Elmo. EL space Mo. I love it. That's kind of hype. That would have been a great name to go for. Great job on the tournaments, dude. Talking to me? Which tournaments? You're talking to other people. There's a lot of people that do really well in tournaments. Devotees are now reskinned. It gives them super buffs. I think, imagine the reskin gives them different animations and they're actually insane now. What's your peak league rank? And who's your favorite champion? I think I was almost platinum. I might have hit platinum, like bottom of platinum, like I just entered it. But primarily I was gold. I was a very average player. But hey, I was a kiddo. I didn't know what I was doing. Man, I squandered my youth not being good at games. If I really locked in, I could have been amazing. Diamond or higher for sure. Dude, I was in like high school. It was chump change, man. It was garbage. But yeah, I love Zorath. Zorath was so fun. Pre-rework Zorath was jokes. You had an ability that turned you into a turret. So you just can't move, but you get insane range. Dan Turin told us you were a challenger in StarCraft. I was semi-pro in StarCraft, according to Turin. Alright, we took a game off Cyril, definitely. Mm-hmm. Ah, hell yeah, here we go. Attack speed's ready. Your little brother was diamond in middle school. There's yeah, if you're a kid and you really know life's something, you know, they have the biggest opportunity to become god gamers. It's okay, I'll settle for mega YouTuber. I just need to lock in and finally finish this edit, man. Editing's taking forever. I still need to look for I still need an editor. You would be a Zorath enjoyer? What does that mean? I guess it does quite fall into my playstyle. I like kiting, all right? I like going for the mega kite and just shooting at my opponent without them hitting me back. The first thing I did when I got onto Warhammer Tabletop when I was super small, I think this was like early high school, late middle school, I wanted a dwarf army that was all Thunderers. Just only Thunderers. Just because I just loved the Daka. I love the Daka and I loved the idea of like them just never getting to my gun line. Is it a good build? No. But that's me, man. That's me through and through. You also played League? Not sure what rank. Maybe plat, sometimes low diamond. Dang, that's pretty nice. Yes, the mega toxicity. Somehow I managed to not descend into that madness. I think auto muting my teammates and opponents helped. I was a very small kiddo. I was a very non-confrontational kid. Very meek, very meek. And I think, you know, I think there's pros and cons though. I learned to express my my displeasure internally, and then I learned how to deal with it instead of externally getting angry at stuff. But man, I was not a fighter though. I had to learn how to stand up for myself way later in life. Huh. Yeah, mute all for the win. There you go. Oh, he's ready. And they're both going purple banner. That does not bother me nearly as much as it bothers Turin. Probably because I have the green and red triangles on, so it's very easy for me to tell which side is which. Whereas Turin, he likes the more cinematic view. So all he gets to see are the banners, and when they're like clipping into each other, it just sucks. See you later, attack speed. Good luck. But also good luck to Berserk. You love getting into fights in voice chat? Dude, I hate that, man. That's not about me. Ooh, CSGO. I did play a little bit of CSGO. It was fun. Any TF2 enjoyers? Team Fortress was hype. I was very bad at that game. Nice. You went the opposite approach. You learned how to enjoy the rage of chat. Honestly, as long as people are happy. As long as you're enjoying it. Fun build from Berserk, by the way. Moby Max. Not Moby Max, but Moby Heavy. Starting with the big guns. So not a lot of infantry. Just enough to help the cavalry, which I think is pretty smart. Got an Orc Shaman. Here we go. Got Fist of Gork. Very standard loadout for the greenskins. Got a little dude over here. Night Goblin Warboss. On foot. The guy actually has stock. Makes him super hard to see. Got the Fermented Fungi. The Tormentor Sword. Kind of just a menace in general. And Snagla. Now Snagla's interesting. They've actually decided to go for the 50% more damage on Snagla. Fang Spike. I don't know how I feel about that. They have the Sting of Snagla, which is a missile spell. Whoa, what? Sting of Snagla is a 40 melee defense debuff for 30 seconds? Are you kidding me? That's actually insane. Bro, that's insane. I should use this more. What the crap? Snagla can... This is actually the equivalent of like some 15 Winds of Magic spells. It's better, man. What the crap? Okay, well, I learned something new today. Some Snagla tech. Already off the bat, though, Fiends with the charge bonus. They do catch Spider Riders. They're a little slow, too. At 78 speed, but... should be able to get away if he keeps running. Did not keep running, though. Attack speed gets a free 400 gold pick. Could potentially chase these guys off. A little bit of a misplay from the get-go, but I think the focus is going on here. Allure S gets put in a bad position, but the mask has jumped the Lord. Night Goblin's kind of suffering. Gets a Tormentor Sword, though. Even hits the Allure S. And Snagla using Fang Spite is gonna kill her. Right off the bat. Gets a Pendulum on some Goblins, but the Allure S goes down. Now, she's extremely expensive. You don't want to be losing her. Dang, look at that. Huge play, actually. All right. Worth the loss of the Spider Riders. Did not expect such an early fight, so I wasn't even looking. But pretty rough from the get-go. Now the mask is debuffing these guys, using a little bit of Mortis Engine action. But if Snagla gets off that ability, suddenly the mask is gonna be super debuffed. We'll see if he can get it though. Mask gets charged by some squigs. And overall, this is not a very perfect situation for attack speed. Losing the Allure S is a massive L. You lose the magic too, which you really need for the late game, but presumably attack speed's just gonna resummon them. A little bit of lag, but we're fine. Yeah, that's actually a massive pick. Using Snagla's charge bonus to kill her was actually super high value. Didn't have any armor either, so this weapon strength actually did pay off quite a bit. Made him hit almost as hard as a giant. Only like, what, 20%? Less? Maybe a bit. more. Giants hit for what, 600? 50% less then. Not quite giant strength, but still quite terrifying. Dude, this lag is bad though. Is attack speed in Jor's internet dying, or is my internet dying? We might need them to send replay, but it recovered last time just by sticking around. Snagler the goat? Apparently. If Snagler can kill the mask, it's over. Snagler just needs to get the sting of Snagler. It does have a very long cooldown. 2 minutes is kind of absurd. But if this hits the mask, that's minus 40 melee defense. A 21 melee defense mask absolutely dies to everything. So I'm real interested to see if that goes down. Instead, it's just going to be a charge. Mask is still getting the debuff and the damage from the Mortis engine. It is a full Mortis. It does hurt a lot. And Snagler's just taking a normal fight here. Even with cycle charging, his melee attack is only going to be about 60 something. The mask just has too high melee defense. Using the mushrooms though to debuff him is good, but the mask actually lands a hit on the Night Goblin War Boss. And this is a very risky situation. It's very easy to misplay this, or just get bad RNG. And right now the mask is doing very well. All right, that Mortis engine is cooking, and the hits on Snagla and the Lord is really bad. Tormentor Sword's good though, but the buffs are still not cooking super hard just yet. And attack speed and Jory did save up for Pleasure Seekers. There's always a chance that the mask gets saved if the Slaaneshi force can break through the greenskin lines. But right now it seems like they're holding quite well. Just a little bit worried about this right flank is all. Ooh, big hit from the mask though. Gets another chip on Snagla. If Snagla doesn't get the sting of Snagla on the mask, it's just really bad. He did get one though. But can they capitalize on it? Oh, going for the buff. Okay, here we go. Snagla with the mega buffs. Got the Fang Spite. Got the Fist of Gork. 70-70 melee stats on Snagla. Gets a massive hit on the mask because he has 50 melee attack more. He's basically guaranteed to hit. And one more hit and the mask is dead. Oh my goodness, what a power play. What a mega buff. 70 melee attack, doesn't even get hit, and the mask goes down. What an absolute mega play. Yeah, the sting hit. The sting hit. Holy, Snagla just became Archaon the Everchosen for a hot second. Now he's back to being Snagla, exhausted from that huge burst of fightiness. But I think that's all that was really needed. At this point, the only thing that can really pull it back are the Pleasure Seekers. Get snagged, yeah. Yo, Meaty Dangler's excited, man. I should not say that. But yeah, the Dangler's excited. They're happy to see Greenskins cook. I think attack speed and Jorah got a little overzealous with the mask. Just because they're strong doesn't mean they're an auto win. It can be very easy to feel like they're indestructible, but a little rough. Aloras does get a little bit of revenge though. Actually misses an attack on Snagla. See some sick dodges. You see that side strafe? Whoop. Oh, but the dodge, look at that. He's snaggling. Oh, the Aloras gets hit. Where the Orc Shaman staggered for a second, gets a pendulum. Aloras coming in with a vengeance. Ooh, routes him without even hitting the guy. Kind of crazy. You still have to be a little careful, right? Greenskins ended up playing pretty wide in this battle. And right now we're seeing the Pleasure Seekers cook real hard. Big buff though, Wog on the Orc Boy Big Guns. But if the Pleasure Seekers survive this big push, it could be real bad. Aloras getting netted too, by the way. Snagla will be able to maybe use another one of those abilities too, to debuff him. Ooh, there it is. Sting of Snagla. That's 30 seconds of debuff. The Aloras has 10 melee defense. She actually kind of sucks right now. If she gets caught by the cavalry, it's done for. Snagla with the web. With the web. She still has 15 seconds of debuff. Oh my goodness. And the Aloras is going to die for a second time. Meanwhile, Pleasure Seekers are still alive, but they're at half HP. Not a great position. Attack speed, no. Overzealous with the Aloras again. Fool me once, fool me twice. It hurts no matter who's to blame. And the Allures gets a crumble in again. She ain't coming back. Minus 50 leadership. Brutality. Absolute brutality. The mount plops on the floor. Jeez Louise, attack speed enjoyer. Honestly, his army would have been doing pretty good on its own. But these hero throws, man. The double, triple hero throw. Lost the mask, lost the Allures twice. Still has lots of magic. But there are a lot of tickets, alright? The mask is back. 4th time's the charm, man. All you gotta do is get the mask, overextend to try and kill the Lord and Snagla. Alright? I'm sure they're almost out of abilities, okay? The fermented fungi is actually empty because it killed 3 of your dudes. Oh my goodness. Oh, and the pleasure seeker's at the tormentor sword again. You got it. Oh, jeez. Whoops and oopsies. There goes 2,000 gold worth elite cavalry. Yeah, they were already injured, but they're kind of what you needed to win this. You think the sting is empty too? It's a pretty long cooldown. There's one more left. Fang Spike has infinite uses, but the spider web is gone. Spider web is done for. So it's just the sting and maybe some melee buffs. Losing the pleasure seekers is rough though. You're looking at 3 greenskin cavalry units. It's going to be difficult to come back, but the mask is a raid boss. If the mask can somehow kill all these guys, he's good. No attack command on Snagla though. The mask, fearful. Fearful of being snagged. She dancing. She don't even know where she's going. still spinning around. Pirouette. Get sting of Snagla. Don't fall for it again, man. Don't fall for it again. What you doing? Sends the mask in right as the sting of Snagla hits. That's another 20 seconds of the mask having 21 melee defense, but maybe it's a bait. Big debuff on the vigor of all these units. I would love to see a Mortis engine proc, but not switch to just yet. Just going for the slow. Mask doing their best. A unit of fiends gets back on the battlefield, and attack speed enjoyer is punching back pretty hard. Hellstrider's cleaning up the Moon Howlers. If attack speed enjoyer can just get a mobility tie before he falls behind on tickets, we could still see a pretty sick play and comeback here. The mask is a menace, and the sting of Snagla wears off without the mask dying, okay? And if you think about it, attack speed enjoyer did get to summon 2 masks in this battle. That has to be worth something. Unfortunately, losing the Hellstriders to some big guns is not what you want to happen. Getting charged by some boys here is also really bad. Melee attack buffs are through the roof, but the mask does have that debuff. Dance of Dreaming, -6 leadership, routes off one of the units. Are we going to see a chain route? Yes, we do. Oh my goodness, this is actually kind of hype. Mask getting the chain routes, the buff is not going to be very useful then. Soporific Musk to finish the job, and that is potentially a comeback play for attack speed enjoyer. You got to remember, they still have 2 capture points. Greenskins really making some insane plays, but Slaanesh is a good faction, man. Slaanesh is real good. But will we see a Snagla resummon? Night Goblin War Boss is tucked away though. We might see a Snagla resummon, but I don't know if it'll be enough. He is quite cheap though. Mask gets the caster though. And the fiends are still alive, but this is still a great centerpiece unit. Savage Orc, Boar Boy, Big Guns. The Sabba coming on in, cleaning up the Hellstriders. But they still have to kill the fiends. Now they definitely beat the fiends in this situation. Attack speed enjoyer does not win on a 1 point. Allures comes in for the 3rd time this game. Hilarious. And we're seeing the hunt. The hunt is on. The mask is here to fight. This is good. You're taking the time to get value. You're ahead in tickets. You might as well get value. Fiends are disengaging. They're too fast to be caught by the Boar Boys. And the Greenskins are really, really wide right now. Doesn't find them though. You got to remember, there's also the Tormentor Sword. Oh my gosh, look at this guy. He's so close to the mask, but he can't be found. He's running to the Slaanesh trees where he'll never be found. But 1 point does get secured. Slaanesh, do they win on a 1 cap? Wait, hold up. No, no, no. They barely don't. They barely don't. It's close, though. It's close. But, wait. No? Wait, no, they might actually win on a one cap. Hold up. 750 tickets. That's, 330-ish. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they barely don't. They barely don't. Though they have a lot of time here right now. They actually have a good few minutes. And if we keep seeing Forest Goblin Spider Riders summon, these Hellstriders are going to be a menace. They get resummoned with their Soul Hunter ability, so they should uptrade quite dramatically against these guys. Attack Speed and Jory loses a charge though again. Attack Speed and Jory with the misplays. Maybe looking somewhere else. It's quite unlike Attack Speed and Jory. But the Hellstriders, a little bit of an awkward position. Caster even comes back too. Still a little bit of a pitch battle. I do think the Greenskins are still quite comfortable since they have two Orc Boarboy Big Gun cavalry units. They're anti-large, they're armored, they're real nasty. And he does catch one of the fiends, Attack Speed and Jory. Getting a little work done. Honestly, I think Berserk is making some really clean plays. He's just fighting the general strength of Slaanesh. The Mask is a menace too, but he wants to finish the job. Uses the Here We Go to kill off the fiend, so there's no more support. But the Dance of Dreaming is basically a full Mortis engine. It's only slightly weaker. And that's going to hurt the cavalry a lot. They don't have that much HP. Mask value probably skyrocketing right now. Let's actually check it real quick. Almost 3,000. But the triple cap is on. Attack Speed and Jory has been spending so much time resummoning his Allure-S and the Mask that he hasn't had the time to get actual killer units on the field. Actual real cleanup, real capture weight. Instead, giving it to the Greenskins, life's a little sketchy. Allure-S takes another volley. If she dies a third time. If she dies a third time, that would be quite insane. I want to believe in the Greenskins so bad. I will say, Berserk pulled off some crazy plays. He does lose the Shaman to a Shatter though, so no more leadership in this area. One Pendulum could potentially rout off this whole core. Pleasure Seekers on the far side. They're really good for cleanup. And if they can just win their fights, life's pretty bad. Moon Howlers are not exactly the best unit of cavalry here. And the Skirmishers aren't going to do too much either. One Borbor Big Gun Cav is not enough, but two, maybe. Gets the net though. Narcissism. Slaanesh has army abilities, don't forget. But the far side? Oh, actually the far side's barely holding. Hellstriders with the Soul Hunters get plus 11 leadership. That gets them to a base 71. That makes them extremely hard to break. We may still see a Lord snipe, but of course Attack Speed and Jory doesn't know where that Lord is. But he will be able to secure a point. Now this is going to buy him some time, but Attack Speed and Jory actually needs to army wipe the Greenskins. Maybe not army wipe them, but trade up to the point where he has enough units to actually re-secure points. Gonna be going for maybe a charge on the big guns. Doesn't commit though. Doesn't commit. A little too fearful of maybe some summons. Fanatics? What is this? Berserk really putting on a show today. Fanatics would have actually shredded these guys, so I guess it's a good thing he didn't chase. Though I feel like a fight in the trees would be so Slaanesh favored. Over yonder, we got the Mask and the Allure-S going for this point. But tickets are starting to get really tight now. Usually, you want to capture your second point at 1,250. Attack Speed and Jory is a little late. He's only starting to get this point at 1,250. And Berserk is aggressing multiple points at the same time. And he wants to fight. He knows his units can trade relatively evenly, and after that, there's no more capture weight. But the far side falls. The Mask gets her out, but she runs off the point. Attack Speed and Jory. Attack Speed and Jory with the multi-misplays. Sees it, still chases. What a mad lad. Does he feel like he can just win a fight? Maybe he feels like he doesn't need the point. He feels like maybe he wants to chase these guys off. I don't know, man. This makes things very precarious. But if he captures this in time, I guess he still gets it. Very indecisive, though. Doesn't keep chasing. Pulls back late. Oh, my gosh. And the Mask is so slow. She's tired. The Mask is exhausted. But can Attack Speed and Jory win on a 2-cap? It looks like he barely will. Jeez, the Mask is slow. 60 speed has never felt slower. And he will get the point just in time to win on a 2-cap. The ball is now in Berserk's court. Or maybe not. Berserk's actually starting to fall behind, but Berserk has to make a play. Slongors have been brought in. Oh my goodness. Are we actually going to see? After losing the Olores twice and losing the mask, are we actually going to see attack speed enjoyer come back in this game? Jeez Louise, the Slaanesh strength is through the roof. Oh my goodness. Lord comes in. This is a smart play. He needs them for that capture weight. And attack speed realizes that he has to hold this point. He has to hold it for at least 40 more seconds, but he pulls away. What are you doing, attack speed enjoyer? You have to hold the point. There's a whole unit of moon howlers coming in. Bro, if attack speed, you're not going to capture this, are you? Attack speed enjoyer might be going for the capture, but this is not a lot of capture weight. It's going to take like a minute to get this. Oh, come on, man. What are you doing? You can't lose his point. Does he have a summon? He has a Slongor. Points getting taken, but very slowly. Oh my gosh, it's going to come down to the wire. Attack speed enjoyer leads in tickets now. If he can hold on to this for a few more seconds, it's done for. Hellstrider's gonna get charged. After all these misplays, is Berserk gonna lose? Don't tell me so. Don't tell me so. Oh my goodness, the Slongors get here. And they're gonna hold it just long enough. Berserk loses. Berserk loses. Oh my gosh. What a game. Oh my gosh, there's a little bit of a throw, losing some cavalry, but you gotta say, attack speed made some big misplays. Oh no, what? Attack speed made some major misplays, but Berserk couldn't close out the game. That was a daylight robbery. I know, right? Jeez, they did overblob on the mask a little bit, but undoubtedly Berserk made some crazy plays early on. Obviously attack speed enjoyer came back with some crazy cav plays, catching some of the units. Those minor misplays just slowly bringing Berserk further and further behind, but I think none of us expected attack speed enjoyer to win that after the beginning. Jeez, man, how much value did... Yeah, Snaggle got 2,600. That's way more value than he ever should be able to get in normal circumstances. Oh my goodness, though. The late game. I think Berserk shouldn't have gone for that triple cap. Berserk lost a lot of cavalry on the far side. And Slaanesh's army abilities will catch you off guard, right? That's how most of the cavalry kept dying. But that seemed almost unwinnable, man. That seemed almost unwinnable. Oh my goodness. Dude, you know that gotta feel bad. You know that has to feel bad for Berserk. Killed the mask, killed the Olores twice. She had to be summoned in 3 times. She costs over 1,000 gold, guaranteed. But that's the Slaanesh difference. And attack speed enjoyer with the mental fortitude. The guy played League of Legends, okay? Never give up, never surrender. Who needs to keep heroes alive anyways, you mad lad? Honestly, there's a lot of players, a lot of high level players in the community that would just, you know, they would just concede. After losing what is effectively your queen in a chess game, a lot of people just leave. But attack speed enjoyer, all right? The raw strength to keep at it, to get in those pleasure seekers and to just scrap back. That's enough. If this game doesn't prove Slaanesh is OP, I don't know what does. I will say it's not a great matchup for the greenskins, and they did have a million gobos. It's not the craziest greenskin build. Like, I don't think they have the best late game. Cav maxing and trying to beat Slaanesh in the cav fight's kind of awkward. But undoubtedly, Berserk made a good play. Slaanesh is obviously a much stronger faction than greenskins. But we certainly had a good match. Certainly. I send this game to CA as a bug report. Hilarious. Dang, they got 3 chevrons. I will say the Hellstriders being resummoned with plus leadership's kind of insane. Attack speed enjoyer made it way closer than they needed to. But congratulations. At attack speed enjoyer, congrats on the crazy close win. I'll message Trizik. You will get your tournament win by tonight. Let me know when you give attack speed their tournament win. And very nice. Some fun matches. Very happy we got to witness that. Yes, Slaanesh stupidness help. Definitely. Combined with the resummons, like you were bringing in effective unit after effective unit after effective unit, right? Hellstriders, Pleasure Seekers, Fiends. And anytime Berserk brought in something that was slightly less effective, they fell slightly more behind. You know? Just like one unit of cavalry that just gets caught because they're too slow. And it was just a slow scrap back. Just by raw value. Oh man. Joyous. But for now, I will be peacing out. Tomorrow, we're not streaming. I got other things I got to get to. So we'll be busy. On Monday and Tuesday. Let me see. Monday we might be streaming. Tuesday we're definitely not though. Unfortunately, I got one last wave of busyness. Gotta wait till the move out day before we are fully set and ready to 100% stream again. But it was a good time. I'll see you guys then. And have a wonderful weekend. Bye bye.